world. It is Thursday, December 30th. We're back at it again for another video. And as you can tell, the live call last night was lit because my voice is struggling. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always and rocking with us, man. Go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong show. We do talk sports daily over here. We're doing this daily thing. The Morning Breeze, live Friday, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, coming through with the tuck and roll. The pettiest man alive is P.kidd. Hey, that late night into early morning be killing you, don't it? What y'all don't know, as we get in here and get kids set up, what y'all don't know is after we got off live last night debating both our sides of the Kobe White point, we then stayed on for like another 30 minutes, just still debating the same thing. we really go hard for this sports business, man. Shout out to y'all. But no, man, a lot we want to get into today, man. I want to break down some of the rumors around Aaron Rodgers. What's going on with him? He's talking about possibly retiring. If he does, what is his legacy? What does he go down as? How do we break that down? Let's talk about that. And then, of course, just getting into some general NFL talk. Anybody going to excite you? Can anybody change your opinion on them? Can anybody move into the right direction for you this week? We're going to talk about that as well, and then getting into a little bit of breaking down this Thursday night matchup. And is the NBA showing some favoritism out here?
Is the NBA showing favoritism?
Hey, listen, I'm seeing COVID games still get postponed out here, and we just whipped Atlanta with Trae Young and the rest of them boys. So at first I was like, man, y'all got to get over it. But then I didn't realize we're still postponing games. So we're going to get into all that and more. And I'm sure there'll be some craziness that ensues here today. And maybe I'll find another crazy story to break down. So we appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page because we're doing this daily, Monday through Friday. Let's get into it, man. First things first, top of the morning.
Can we really say favoritism? I mean, they did have 3 of their starters.
Who?
Atlanta.
Atlanta just had Trae and Capella last night. Who else? Oh, and Cam.
And Cam.
Well, Cam's not a starter. Cam hasn't been a starter for them this season. He hasn't been a starter for them this season. He's been more of relegated to coming off of the bench.
You just made me look that up.
Was Cam a starter? I didn't think Cam was a starter at the beginning of this season because it would have been Trae, John Collins, Capella. I think Bogdanovich was starting over him, if I'm not mistaken. And then who else was out? It don't matter. But yeah, no, just looking at how the NBA is kind of doing some things. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those. It's like at first I was on I was on the Atlanta fans' heels, like, hey man, y'all get over it. And we had to play through COVID. Y'all got to play through COVID. And then I was like, oh, we still postponing games though.
So they got John Collins, Sharif Cooper, I can never pronounce this man's name.
Oh, Gorey Dieng.
There you go. Malik Ellison, Gallinari, Herter. Wandu actually played. Jalen Johnson, he's still out.
The Bears.
Lou Will still out. Okongwu played.
They missing a lot. They missing a lot for sure. But it was one of those that I looked at it and just kind of like was like, maybe that's at first it was like, hey, play ball, get over it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. And then it was like, oh well, they did postpone the Miami game last night.
They did postpone the Miami game.
So is the NBA showing a little bit of favoritism? We'll get into that a little bit later in the show. But start this thing off with the bad man. Let's start this thing off with a real bad man who really just likes irritating the media. That's all I'm calling it. That's all I'm calling it at this point. He just really likes irritating the media when it comes down to Aaron Rodgers. Full phone call at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Let's get this.
Top of the morning. But no, Aaron Rodgers basically came out yesterday, talked about and was asked about, what his plans are for the future. Again, probably for the 57th time this season. And he opens up saying that he isn't ruling out retiring after the 2021 season. He says, "I'm just enjoying this season for this season, and I think playing next year will definitely be in the thought process," Rodgers said. He added, "My decision won't be something I drag out for months and months. Once I commit, if it's committing to move forward here, it'll be a quick decision." If Aaron Rodgers, because to me, I don't think that like I feel like Aaron Rodgers retiring is a non-story. Like, do we really think Aaron Rodgers is just going, "Oh, yeah, I'm done. Still one of the best passers in the NFL. Let me hang these things up." But what I do think is that if he does, it brought up the thought in my mind, what does he go down as? Does he go down as a Brett Favre? Does he go down as something more? Does he go down as greatest regular season quarterback? What does he go down as if he is to move on from the NFL after this season?
I mean, he goes down as league MVP because I think he's in the running for this one.
Yeah.
He's more than likely going to get it.
A back-to-back MVP for A-Rod?
Man, the season he's having.
He's balling.
Can you deny it? I mean, the only person I thought was going to take it it has been injured. I mean, I guess Jonathan Taylor.
It's tough. Yeah, you don't see a lot of running backs get it. That's the problem.
Like
it's a quarterback's award, which is kind of dirty, but
I mean, quarterback gets all the blame if something goes wrong for the most part. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't go to he can't beat. There's nothing he can do to beat Brady in the next 5 years.
He'll never be on top of Brady. But I guess it's one of those, like, when you look back at the career, the one thing we say about Brett Favre, like, you almost don't even bring up the Super Bowl with Brett Favre. You bring up he got one, but he played for so long and he only got one. And he only got 2-1, I believe. Like, how does that play into the story of Aaron Rodgers? Or does it even play at all? Or is it going to go down that Aaron Rodgers moves on from the team? I'm interested in the storyline that's going to follow him, because Aaron Rodgers is a dude where storylines just naturally follow.
Can you blame someone who had to coexist with the greatest of all time for only getting to one?
Yes, because he wasn't in the same division. You didn't have to beat the greatest of all time to get to the Super Bowl. Now, granted, like I view football championships or football Super Bowls very, very differently. Like, I don't view it as you can't be a great player if you don't get a Super Bowl. Most of the great players in the NFL don't have a Super Bowl.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, honestly, if you think about, like, a lot of the players in the Hall of Fame, a lot of them don't have Super Bowls.
That's a fact.
Because they're hard to get to. You got to get 53 dudes to all pull on the rope in the same direction, and you ain't got 53 dudes making the same amount of money, so it's some dudes pulling harder. You know what I'm saying?
He's pulling harder, some dudes.
And if some dude that's making the most money is pulling that way, and the rest of us trying to go that way, you're gonna have
injuries are a big thing. Can never control that one. It's more likely to happen in the NFL than any other sport, I believe. At least major sports.
Hockey probably hockey might be higher.
Hockey might be higher.
That's an interesting point. I might have to look at that. That's an interesting point.
I don't know. The interesting thing about this whole thing is, it's like, he doesn't go down as just a guy. He goes down as literally probably the most efficient quarterback to have ever played. That's actually not even a question. He goes down as the most efficient quarterback to have ever played.
Wow. Surprise. Well, this never mind. Keep going. I read this. It says sports most likely cause injury, but it's also talking about like kids and stuff. It's basketball. But for kids, that makes sense because you jump and then like fall on your shoulder because you ain't coordinated and shouldn't be playing basketball. But you don't know that till you break your shoulder.
You should look up which professional league
Yeah.
has the most injuries. That would be. I could
Yeah,
still see it being basketball, though. I mean, now that I
it's
think about
weird.
it,
It's highest. It is basketball.
it's still
Basketball,
basketball.
then football, then soccer. Interesting. It is interesting to me just to see how Aaron Rodgers goes down because to me, like I think about Brett Favre. You know, when he was dominant, when he was playing, when he was on the field, it was always Brett Favre's a baller. Oh my God, he's amazing. How he can get you there. He's that guy. He'll throw some turnovers, but absolutely throw some touchdowns to go with him. Can he play you into a game? Can he got the Vikings to almost being in a Super Bowl. They're one play away from getting to a Super Bowl.
It's still a play that he messes
But
up.
but hey, facts. But if
He Cam
you
Newton that mug.
if you look at how we look at Brett Favre's career now, it's like Hall of Famer, great player. That's it. You know what I'm
That's all
saying?
it
Like
was.
it's what he was. It's what he was. And a lot of times when you're in the moment, like right now, like I 100% think that Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. I don't think he's the GOAT, but talent wise, he's the greatest quarterback I've ever seen.
That's
But
going to be your Jordan and LeBron conversation for football for the next umpteen years, I guess.
but see, the thing is, LeBron at least got to the dance enough. And maybe with football, that's where that caveat comes in. LeBron got to the dance enough for us to make that conversation. The Jordan LeBron caveat. He didn't win it enough for me to think that there should be a conversation. But there's at least that caveat there of like, but he got there. He beat everybody he had to beat to get there to play who was the best across from him. Aaron didn't get there as much. And like I said, with football, I look at it completely differently because of what it takes to get to a Super Bowl. But when I see moments like last year where he doesn't get it done in a moment where he could have gotten it done, where I see moments where now he's upset at the Packers because they're not giving him quote unquote enough. Where he's upset and now he wants to leave and now he's trying to like sweep it all under the rug like we didn't see. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these little moments I'm seeing, I'm wondering what's gonna stick out when he finishes his career. And I don't think he's leaving. I don't think he's retiring. Heck, he could go to Denver next year and win another Super Bowl. Who knows? And then maybe it's a completely different conversation. If he's usually when you've got 2 rings, you become the elite of the elite. Two is like the I can hang out with the best of the best club. 3 you get the 3, you now you just like, all right, it's like him and then it's Brady and them. You know what I'm saying? Like if he's able to get another Super Bowl, it changes the perception. But if he finishes his career right now, Packers go out this season, and I don't believe they're going to win the Super Bowl. I
How
don't.
many QBs of our era have 3?
How many QBs of our era have 3?
No, just Brady.
Just Brady.
Hmm.
Of our yeah, just Brady. Eli's
Just
got
Brady.
2, Peyton's got 2, Big Ben has 2.
2. I believe he
Um,
has 2. That's it.
yeah, that's it. That's
Aaron
it.
has 1. Breeze has 1. Phillips didn't get 1.
Phillip didn't get 1.
Foles got 1.
Foles got 1, yeah. Hey. Bears quarterback.
Which also means Carson has 1.
That's a wild thought, ain't it?
It is wild.
She's like Carson Wentz is a Super Bowl champion.
That's the interesting thing right there. It's that who are we missing?
And listen, I would never put him in the same category as a Nick Foles.
Does Atlanta have one? No, Matt Ryan
No,
don't
no,
got one.
28-3. I would never put him in a category as like a Nick Foles or a, but I mean, honestly, does he have more of the Favre because of where he's at, or does he have more of a Breeze right off into the sunset? Because nobody looks at Breeze like, no, that dude, he failed his team. It's always like, no, your defense was trash. You were trying to wade through that. Like, you were getting hit consistently.
Oh no, I'm a Breeze fan.
Yeah,
It wasn't Breeze's fault at all. I don't know if you can say that for Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers has always had a pretty decent defense. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have, 3-4 years in a row where it's like clearly you got cheated.
yeah.
Like he doesn't have two back-to-back egregious PI calls that were just like, were you blind? Like, like the guy is getting hit before the ball gets there. Like,
True, but in that game, Breeze played pretty bad to
I
the
mean,
point
it was
where,
an ugly game all the way
yeah,
around.
that was one of those games where it was like, yes, that PI call cost you the game, but you also did nothing in this game to put yourself in a position where you should have walked away with that game. Who was that versus Minnesota? Was that Minnesota?
Nah, the one against Minnesota was crazy because it was the rookie on defense that
Oh,
made
the
that
rookie wasn't.
mistake.
He didn't want to make
That
the
was crazy to me. I'm
penalty.
like, just give the man the free lane. Like, but it was also because the rookie didn't want to get hit with
He
the
didn't want to get
pass
hit with the
interference.
penalty. Yeah, the PI.
So it's like, okay, I guess we can live with that. But the play before, Drew Brees actually marched that team down in
Yeah,
record time for
yeah.
them to even be in a situation to win. So it's like he did his job. He just doesn't play defense.
And
I can't say that about Aaron Rodgers.
you know
I
what
can't.
though? From most of Aaron's career, I think we can make that argument about Aaron where he hasn't had an elite deep. They probably haven't had an elite defense since Clay Matthews was there. The Packers defense has played better toward the end of this season, but they probably hadn't had an elite defense since it was Clay Matthews and them out there. But they've always been in a position to win the game in the closing, and a lot of times it has fallen on the offensive side of the ball, and that's when they haven't gotten the job done.
Yeah. The simple fact that you can name Clay Matthews as a defensive guy for them, I'm still trying to figure out who was that defensive guy for Breeze.
Akeem Hicks. Then we took him.
Oh, okay. All right. That doesn't really help.
No, I mean that defense wasn't bad though. It was, who was that? Clay Matthews, AJ Hawk. They had some nice names over there back then. But since then, I don't think that we can say that they've had.
Clay and Hawk at the same. Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah, that was the tandem.
They both had the hair thing going on.
Yeah, flowing locks out here.
And the discount double check, both of them featured them at one point. Oh no, Aaron Rodgers needed to get that done. He ain't had no excuse. I ain't
He
trying
did
to
get
hear
it
that.
done with them.
I ain't had no.
He
He
had
ain't
an
had no
elite
excuse.
defense since then. He got it done with them. He ain't get it done with nobody because Clay and AJ got a ring. They got a Super Bowl with them. But you know what? It's the reason I wanted to look at the conversation because one is the unknown enough for Aaron Rodgers. Because Aaron Rodgers, he seems like that kind of player that we talk about, like that has a different kind of mentality with how he works, has a different kind of the Mamba mentality, the Jordan mentality, whatever you want to say. With I'm trying to do everything I can to get this job done. I'm trying to do everything I can to come out here and get a win. But is the allure of that knowing that you got one a long time ago? Was it 2014? 7 years ago, you got one. Do you have to go get another one? Is Rodgers going to start trying to do I'm going to stick around till I get another one or until this arm falls off? Or does he walk away into the sunset before he ends up, becoming that quarterback that Peyton Manning became.
Rodgers may not have a choice. The game is changing. Even if he's still effective, it doesn't mean his team ultimately like. Do you look at Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers and say confidently they're going to beat the Chiefs? No.
Chiefs defense ain't. It would be
Chiefs
a
defense
shootout.
is so up and down.
Yeah, it would be a shootout. It would be a shootout for me.
And no matter how efficient he is, do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to consistently beat Patrick Mahomes? I don't think so.
I want to see what that is.
Can he consistently beat? Now Bears have a QB. Let's say we finally get it right. Just base it off potential. Is he going to be curb stomping Justin Fields for the next 4 years?
Is it meathead of me to kind of want Aaron Rodgers to be here as Justin becomes better and better? Just be like, stick around. No, I want you to feel what we felt for years, but also like it's still freaking Aaron Rodgers, so it's like maybe just leave though.
Could be a losing bet. So I don't know what to tell you about that one, my boy.
It could be a little. Maybe just leave. I want you to be here to feel the pain you've caused us and feel the losses, but also maybe you go do that in Denver.
Aaron could probably
do once a year.
Aaron could probably do the whole, hey, Jordan Love, why don't you start the season? I just want to beat the Bears. Like, if he does something like that, it's like, I don't know if we want to do that one, dog. Because the potential is there, but the jury is ultimately still out. Justin has some lot of growing pains to go through.
It's such a Bears fan move for me. It's just like, yeah, I want to see Justin beat Aaron Rodgers because he said he owned us and he kind of right. But still, I want to see Justin do it. Now come back and now Justin own you. It's a whole new era. But also, you're still pretty good.
We could be in our 40s. I
really want to see you throwing touchdowns up there.
No, we could be in our 40s, and he could have lost maybe 70% of those games since, from now to then, and he'd still own us. I've already done the math.
He would own what he played against, but he wouldn't own that Bears regime. That's what it's about. Listen, you've owned all the ones before this, but you don't own that one.
Hey, listen. Even Bears fans see Aaron Rodgers roll through town and be like, "It's a tough one right here."
It's always a tough one. It's never a good feeling. It's never a good feeling. I'm not gonna lie. And you know what? I always say I hate the Pat McAfee show for one reason. Like I love the show. I love Pat. He's always been one of my favorite. Honestly, while he was playing, I knew who he was because of like the fact that he would lay you out if you got through on a punt or like strutting down the field. Like there's always that one punter in the league that like I'd be like, all right. He kind of cool. And Pat was that dude at that time. And so I always liked Pat. But the one thing I hate about his show is he makes me like Aaron Rodgers. Like when you hear Aaron talk, when you hear Aaron break it down, it's just like, oh, he's a Parker's friend. I can't stand this dude. God dang it.
The rivalries never ran for me. That ain't never made sense. We ain't never been good enough for us to be in the conversation to even have this whole. Alive. You said what?
I said we ain't never been good enough since we've been alive. Don't take that new millennial stance on stuff like we didn't dominate the Packers for 40 years before that. Just because we didn't see the games happen, don't mean they didn't happen.
I mean, that's just like Celtic fans holding on to Bill Russell's run. Who cares? It was 40 years ago. That does nothing for the simple fact that we're dumpster fire now.
It's a dumpster fire now. Hey, look,
been a dumpster fire since I've been watching football, which is at this point.
And they still ain't won more games than us. And they still ain't won. Took over the record yet. It took them 20 years of kicking our butt, and the Bears still lead. That's how long the Bears were beating up on them. They deserve a couple decades of what they got.
I can tell you really ride that through. That's a you and Pops thing right there. I can tell. I'm gonna let y'all have that one. That's a you and Pops thing right there. I'm gonna let you all have that one. I'm gonna let you live.
Because you know what?
It's all you have.
It's the only. It's all I have.
It's all
Hey,
you
that
have.
dude. Hey, fam, you ever seen that, bro? That video, that hurt my soul. Shorty came in and cut the game off on my man's, and he just stood up. He was like, "Why?" She's like, "You're always on the game." He was like, "It's all I have." His kid was like sitting in the back. His wife was over there. I was like, "Dang, dog, that's a broken man."
It's a broken man.
The broken man. Somebody pick him up, man. Somebody. Hey, where you at, King? I'll pull up on you, dog.
I heard that phrase when I saw that video of Shorty burning down dude's car. He was like, "I sleep there." No, dog.
Bro.
He was composed. He was super composed in that video for me. Talk about dead person walking. I was
Hey, listen.
You take everything from me. You take my family. Now you burn my car. I sleep there. I was like, "Now that's a broken man." That's how
different level.
Serial killers are born.
Hey, that's a different level of broken. That's that level. Like buddy that got the game cut off on him was like, I've been at work all day. I'm tired. I don't feel like dealing with your mess. You burn down like where I sleep. I'm calling the police on you. I'm calling the police on you for sure. You gotta go. I'm pressing all kind of charges. I'm suing. I ain't even got a lawyer. I'm finding a way.
Justice don't move swift enough for me, my boy.
Hey, look. I just calling the police as a formality.
Oh, okay, I got you. Try
to
cover your own behind.
No, but nah, it's you know what it is. It's like when I look at A-Rod, when I look at what he goes down as. I mean, at this point, I feel like don't you feel like we started the season like he's 110% going to leave the Packers? Like I feel like that's where the season started, and now it's like, oh, he really might stay.
I don't think he's gonna stay. I think he's done.
You think he's done? In general, you think he's gonna retire?
I don't think he's gonna retire, but like when I look at his comments, I didn't get the retirement sense from it. I got, I'm not gonna drag this on as a brother. I'm gonna be a Packer. That's what I got. That's the tone I felt. But that's also my context injected into the statement. Yeah. So, or my bias or whatever you want to call it. But I don't think he's going to be a Packer by any means. I think that relationship is done. He came back. He did what he needed to do. They won games. He did it as a professional. But they may not even be able to keep Adams. So,
well, they won't be able to keep Adams if he leave. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm looking at it as what's going to be the next for the Packers if he does leave. Do you keep Adams? Do you get Adams for an extra year and see maybe he can work with Jordan Love? In that game where Jordan Love played, a lot of people, I give Jordan Love credit for what he came out there and did. He actually didn't play bad. He didn't play great, but he didn't play bad. He played like a dude this is my first time getting NFL action. And he didn't have Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones. He was out there by himself. He went out there with Marquez Valdes-Scantling and was like, hey, try and catch this. Oh, you dropped it. That's not surprising. Like it's.
Do you know the crazy thing, dog? Now here is where the bias comes in. I honestly don't care what happens to the Packers after they gone because they've won so much against us, right?
Oh yeah.
Like at this point, it was just like I would love to see the Bears finally lead the division on a consistent basis.
Well,
and really do something with it.
But you know what? This is the thing, right? I'm one of them people that I like when the rivalry is fun. Baseball Town USA is fun when the Cubs and the Sox are both good, and because really we're not rivals. Sox and Cubs really aren't rivals. The Sox rival is the Tigers. The Tigers are trash. The Cubs rivals is the Cardinals, and the Cubs are trash. So they're really not. But when both baseball teams are good and they do play, it gets the fan base is so hyped.
It's rocking.
Yeah. It's rocking. It's so entertaining because it's like, I'm not going to just come out here and destroy you. It's going to be competitive. We're going to have to go down we might have to go down to extra innings. We might, you know what I'm saying? When we've never seen, well, I guess we did one season where both football teams were good. And that was 2014. No, not 2014. I'm 2018.
2018. Then you got
2018.
the Lovey Bears who were decent. I mean, they never really beat Aaron
Nah,
Rodgers,
yeah, nah.
but
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they
they
weren't.
were good. They made Super Bowl. That team, I mean,
That's
they made the
specific.
Super
No,
Bowl.
I'm saying that like that's how it is with the Bears though. Like that year, we won. Like we were both good.
It's
20.
funny because I don't even think the year we made the Super Bowl we beat them. I don't think we beat them that year.
I think we swept them that year actually.
Yeah,
I
because
think
Lovie Smith's record against the Packers ain't good.
most of the players that had to go up against Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers' record ain't good. I love that. That was my favorite thing about like that one game where they're just like, these are the coaches' records versus them. It's like, all right, pull up the rest of the league. I hate to tell y'all this. It's a lot of losses versus them two quarterbacks.
People taking some L's, dog.
They did a lot of winning while they were out here. But you know, I'm one of them weird. Like I told because you know J Mart is a Packers fan. I told him, I said, I don't want Jordan Love to be bad. I want him to be just good enough that it divides y'all fan base. That's my hope for the Packers. That Jordan Love is their Mitch Trubisky. Not that he can't play, not that he can play, but he shows you something good, shows you something, little man. And the Packers are just like, do we pay him? Do we keep him around? Give him the money. You know what? I could live with. I would be happy if Jordan Love became Baker Mayfield. Because Baker Mayfield good enough to win you some games, but Baker gonna sell that thing. my favorite tweet from last weekend was when somebody said, look at OBJ causing Baker Mayfield to overthrow these passes again.
Yep.
That was my favorite tweet. And I was just like, man,
they really tried to play OBJ for all that
they
stuff.
really tried to play. Fam, did you see? And they put it to like the coolest video ever. It was like, it showed his touchdown with the Browns in like, what he played there, 17, 18 games or something like that. And then it showed his touchdowns with the Rams. And his touchdown with the Browns was 7. His touchdown with the Rams since he's been traded there is 4. It was just like, look what happens when you put the ball in a competent quarterback's hands. And he puts the ball in a receiver's hands. I don't know. Am I the only one on that? Am I the only Bears fan that's like that? That I kind of want them to be competent so that the rivalry's fun. Because even before, like, I'm assuming that Bears fans had fun while we were kicking the crap out of the Packers, but it's still, you know, like, I would say probably the 60s and 70s was the most entertaining time of the rivalry. Because both teams were good enough to win championships.
I'm sorry, you said what time was the best?
I said probably the 60s and 70s.
Oh, okay.
Because both teams were good enough to win championships. Well,
you know, my give a F meters didn't start to 2005. So at this point,
well, yeah, you don't
like you're a historian of this sport, and I'm like, hey, yeah, I love it, absolutely love it. Guess what? As soon as you said 1960, so you mean my grandma age? Nah, okay. Hey, dog. Guess what? Most of our viewers weren't even alive then. We just look at we hear the lore of what.
We can't say that. We get calls from old heads every week on this show.
Hey, the weirdest thing about Google and YouTube is that we get to see the average age of our listener, and most of those people were not alive in the 30s.
No, they wasn't alive. Most people wasn't alive. But no, you know what though? Like, to me, that's not an excuse, because we talk about basketball players that were from a different a different era, a different time. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't none of us see.
They were so old you got lost the word for it.
Whatever. Most of us ain't seen Magic Johnson play.
Hey, Magic Johnson's within reach though. The average age of our viewer, which goes up to 45, they absolutely saw
most of that top 75. We ain't seen play. It was some names on there. Me and you was like,
who is that?
This dude is an NBA player?
Hey, dog, it's a good 10 people on there. I'm like, yeah,
Bro,
I don't know who you are.
no clue who Buddy was.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you the nod just because a bunch of people gave you the nod, and I trust them more than I trust me because I'll sell you right there.
But that's what I mean. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at because I didn't sit there and watch it. Like we got YouTube, we got the means to see it. So it doesn't, you know, I don't take it away from them because I didn't see it happen. That year that we went to the Super Bowl, we beat the Packers twice, 24-17, 19-7. Man, good times. Good times.
Good times.
Anthony said, shout out to all of y'all pulling up early this morning, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in with us. He said, you weren't around for the 90s. The matchups were a lot better between Bears and Packers. Yeah, but we were still losing a lot. Like, you're not finna tell me that the Tommy Waddle Bears were out there killing the Packers.
I mean,
I love Tommy Waddle. Yeah, it might have been entertaining. It might have been you know, you knocking them around and you big hits and entertaining shot, but it wasn't the Tommy Waddle Bears.
He said, "Don't worry, you wouldn't have been able to watch much of them anyway because there was no cable back then."
Oh, you talking about with the NBA?
No, with the Bears and Packers.
Dog, there was cable in the 90s. You didn't have cable in the 90s, my G. Don't put that on everybody. There was absolutely cable in the 90s, dog. I was there for that.
Hey, look at the short run of cable. Cable has come and gone in a generation of people.
Legitimate.
It's like, hey, do you still have cable? It's like, why? Like, cable has come and gone.
You know what's wild too? Because it's just like I'm sitting there looking at like the breakdown of the stuff I have. I'm paying a cable bill with YouTube TV. With like at this point, I'm paying a cable bill.
Yeah, they try to sell us that we're not, but we are.
It's, you know what it is?
I'm probably paying more than I paid for cable.
No, you know what it is? It's selling you don't have to worry about what is it?
Contract.
You can cancel it anytime.
I could have always canceled cable at any time.
But this is the thing. Why would I cancel? You can cancel it anytime, but I want to watch TV. Why would I cancel? And especially with streaming services, it's like I'm legit like I'm literally thinking about going back to cable. Because of how we do the live calls, because of how many times like I have to rely on the internet just to like see the game, and every now and then it's just like, and here we go. Like, I'm
being in the middle of nowhere for me is like, yeah, I need to probably do that.
Yeah, I'm legitimately to the point where I'm like, I might go get because this is the thing. I'm paying a cable bill with how much I'm paying for the Hulu I got now. And I still am gonna have Disney Plus. I'm still gonna have we get Netflix for the free. I ain't gonna lie to you. Pass that password around, dog. I'm still gonna have Netflix. Still gonna have whatever. Like I'm still gonna have all that. I'm legitimately thinking about going back to cable.
Now here's the funny thing: how much of that did you legitimately watch?
I say this, the only reason I liked having YouTube TV is because everything I watched, I could get on there on like a demand type thing. And I don't know if cable's got, I don't know how Xfinity worked that out. I don't know. Like, I don't feel like sitting there and getting like the shows that you got on demand. Like, I want to know, like, I'm going to go here and I'm going to search this show and it's going to pop up.
Hey, listen, once I get this Fire Stick, it's a wrap. Hey, get in where you fit in. Hey,
listen,
argue with your mama.
We're on an internet platform. You might not want to say that. They will cut your cable. They will cut your internet clean off if they find out about that, dog.
Hey, listen.
Providers.
Hey, listen. I'm gonna tell you, switch providers at the same time. You ain't trying if you ain't cheating. I mean,
you ain't cheating. You ain't trying.
Hey, listen, trying to win, my boy. I can't do that about that. I call it a sports show. I got to get all these channels, and y'all want to make me pay a premium for all these games. Guess what,
man? Listen,
I can't go.
I can't do it. And the weird
we don't have to break bread down the middle some way.
I'm gonna sit down today And I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna look at the price and I'm gonna break it down because I literally didn't even. I thought about cable, but then I looked at like how much it would be because you got to get each TV, or you got to at least set up for where each TV is gonna go. So then I'm like, all right, if I put one here, put one here, put one here, how much is gonna be? I'm gonna sit down and break it down today and see how much I spend on all the streaming stuff. And if it's the same, I'm going to get cable because I ain't got to fight with cable.
Until you have to fight with cable.
Until you got to fight with cable.
And then it's like well, I could just leave. And it's like, well, they got to come get their equipment. And they got to come with this. And they got to do that. It's like, this is why I didn't get cable.
This is exactly why I don't get cable. Nah, you know what? YouTube TV is nice. It's not way cheaper. I don't care what nobody say. It's definitely
$64 is not way cheaper.
It's $64 a month. That's not way cheaper than cable. that by no means is way cheaper than cable.
Each subscription will be costing you plenty like everybody, but you should be claiming all of it on your tax. You know what? That's a fact. That's a fact. It's a business expense.
Oh, that's true. Can I claim cable on my taxes?
Yes, you can. It's a business expense.
Hey.
Because you need all those streaming services with the sports features to call the games.
That's interesting.
Look at that. Chat coming through in the morning.
Shout out to Dennis. That's why we do this. Appreciate y'all pulling up in the morning. I gotta get the little soundboard.
It's a little too early for the big. You the big. I would have clicked exit. Like the heck is you playing that sound in my ear for this boy?
Anthony said, yeah, but it's a set price and it's not going up. That's cap because YouTube TV was $30 when it started. I was there. I was one of their first subscribers. It was a solid $30. The mugs doubled in less than 6 months. It was like, oh, people like this. We're going to be upping the price.
Hey, so promote yourselves, my boy, because I need a CPA.
He said, I'm a CPA. The streams are part of you being able to do your job. I claim it in my, okay, all right. Shout out to you, man. Hey, listen, that's how you do it, man. That's how you get business working. That's how you get, you start moving stuff in the right direction, man. I bet you're on LinkedIn. Speaking of LinkedIn, these days it can be hard to find and hire the right candidates for your small business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs has made it easier to find people you want to talk to faster and for free. Now, Dennis. Never mind. Anyway, we appreciate y'all for pulling up. Kid, what do you like about LinkedIn as you get the waves popping? What has LinkedIn done for you and your small business, my boy?
I'm gonna tell you this: LinkedIn has done wonders for my small business. And if I ever decide to go get a job, LinkedIn. It's who you know, baby. Get on LinkedIn, connect with some people, start sending out some messages. It's all about who you know, not what you can do.
Create free job posts in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach a network and beyond of the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. That's a lot of people. Focus on a candidate with just the right skill and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of only the most qualified. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. That's why small business rates LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering job quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week, nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Wendy. That's linkedin.com/Wendy. That's linkedin.com/Wendy. Terms and conditions may apply. And we're back. We got to get like should we get the underneath music on that? Like they got on the radio or the TV where they do the read and they just be like, doom, 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 doom.
As long as it's not that cheesy, I'm with you.
No, I feel like it's got to be though. I feel like if you do it like that, it's got to be that cheesy. Let's move on, man. Let's get to a little bit of the rest of the NFL in here because we got an interesting Thursday night matchup, and I'm looking at Sunday's matchups as well. Is there somebody you can look at coming into Week 17 that can change your opinion or move the needle on how you felt about them before this week?
Let me pull up this game first before I make this statement. Who's playing today?
Bengals Chiefs.
Well, I like both those teams. I already knew Joe Burrow was a dog, and you know how I feel about Patty Melt. Uh, Gotta give him a new name, but he definitely was like up and down for me this fantasy season.
Yeah.
Still won me the season though.
Did win you a Super Bowl. I'll give you that. It did win
Oh,
you a Super Bowl.
say it again one more time. It
Hey,
won
listen,
me a what?
you can't hurt me after where I came from. I was 1-6, dog. I made it to the doggone conference finals. You can't hurt me after where I came from. I'm proud of my team.
Hey, be proud of your boys. Be proud of your boys for
My
getting that
boys. I
tail.
cut a lot of them dudes
Tapped.
on the way though. Hey,
Uh,
didn't show up at all. Didn't even put up a fight. Just
Dog, you didn't crack 90 points. I was like, whoa.
bro, didn't even put up a fight, dog.
Let's see. Nothing changes for me either way. Like honestly, I look at that as going to be a shootout.
If the
Um,
Bengals win, if
I
the
don't think the
Bengals
Bengals are
win,
going
that
to win.
says something to me.
I don't think the Bengals are going to win. I mean, if they do, great. But you know, the way that the season started for the Chiefs, for them to be 11-4, I think they are now.
Yeah.
You know, they've done a lot. So I've always felt like Joe Burrow was going to be good. So this is just seeing him actually do his thing. Technically, are we considering this his full rookie season then? Because it was his first one was cut short. Does he get the Blake Griffin treatment?
No, because Blake never played.
I mean, he played one game, or was that preseason?
Oh, he didn't play. He never played because remember he was eligible for Rookie of the Year. If you play at all in your rookie year, you're not eligible for it.
Okay,
Because he
so
won Rookie of the Year his sophomore year.
So he gets the Ben Simmons treatment.
Ben Simmons didn't play his rookie year.
I'm pretty. I feel like he did.
I think him, Joel Embiid, and Blake Griffin all did the same thing.
That's crazy.
It is. It's just like draft this dude. He can't play for the first year. We don't care.
That's the process. Dag, that sucks. That's crazy.
Nah, I think Burrow. You know what though? Seeing like even Justin saw. You know, I mean, we've literally seen 3 quarterbacks start for us this year. Very inconsistent. Justin didn't see what he played. 10. He started 10 games this year.
He got enough tick.
Played in I think 12. But even if he doesn't play the rest of the year due to injury or ownership saying don't get my guy killed, what he saw on the field was invaluable. Because you know how to now you know when you're sitting there looking through your playbook, studying in the offseason, now you know how to assess what's coming at you. Now you know what the speed of it is. Now you know, okay, I need to look to these 3 guys, but I need to be quick about it because Tevin Jenkins ain't figured out how to block yet. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like you understand your team, you understand what you're going out there with, you understand what you're playing with. And so to me, that makes the biggest difference there. If I'm looking at if I looked at the Bengals, if the Bengals win this game versus the Chiefs, it would change my opinion on how far I think the Bengals can go in the playoffs. Absolutely. Because it tells me that they can come out and they can beat the top competition in big games. Because this is still a game that matters for both teams. I mean, it doesn't matter getting into the playoffs, but it matters seeding wise.
You know, I normally I'm not a very. All right, let's start this whole thing over. I'm not easily impressed, and I've always knew he was a stud.
Yeah,
and I know the team was limping, but he put up 525 yards and 4 touchdowns on the Baltimore Ravens
this year. Yeah,
you
didn't see that last week.
I saw it, but I didn't see it because I was focused on what we had to focus on. So at this point, it's like I appreciated it, but I didn't get a chance to actually like take it all in. That there is a good stat line.
Yeah, real good. Yeah, it's hard to have a bad one when you throw 500 yards.
Hey, listen, you want to talk about people? You want to talk about owning a team just from performance? Yeah. He's owned Baltimore this year because the first time he played him, he put 416 yards on them. With 3 touchdowns and 1 INT.
I think both times he played them, I don't think he played against Lamar though.
I mean, well, Lamar don't play defense.
Yeah, true.
like, I always love the QB battle because it's like, well, they're not really playing each other. They're like, it's like whose team is going to show up against whose defense. Like, it doesn't really, like, the moment that they start saying, yeah, it's a direct correlation between how well you throw and how well that person throws that's ultimately going to decide this game. It's like, nah, I don't. Like, I could put up
Hey,
4
listen,
TDs.
listen. I tell you this. You can say it's not a QB battle, but Tom Brady still don't shake Nick Foles' hand to this day.
Hey, well, Tom Brady is just a sore loser at this point.
Hey, listen, Tom Brady still don't shake Nick Foles' hand. You saw that mug after the Bears game. It was like, hey, Tom, where's Tom? Tom?
Hey, listen.
Tom was off the field running like, I'm done.
Hey,
Keep
Tom
losing this guy.
is like, where's
Take
my
my ball
statue?
home.
Tom is trying to still get his statue in Foxborough, and Nick Foles already got one in the city he don't even care about. So at this point, it's like, hey,
Bill, Bill won't let him build it. Like, we don't get that kind of little players around here.
like, how do you not get a statue to the GOAT? Like,
just give him a hug, man. At this point, all Tom wants is a hug.
like didn't Jordan get his statue in by the end of his first retirement? That statue was there.
I think so. I think that's facts. He was still playing when the statue was in front for sure.
Dog, do you see how wild that is? You were so dominant and won 3 championships.
Yeah.
They put a statue up there. I was like, oh man, this guy's greatest of all time, right? Put a statue up there. You come back and you do it again.
Look, they put a statue up after 3. Great. He was the greatest of all time after 3. Like, wait, hold on, what? And then he went and got 3 more of them just to let y'all know. No, I'm still that dude.
You know the crazy thing is, I remember looking at that statue because at one point it didn't have 10-time scoring champ on there.
Oh yeah, they were still adding stuff to
it. You couldn't add it though. You'd have to change the base because it was already etched in.
Oh, the Bulls got money. Jerry got money. Jerry probably got the old statue in like a storage closet somewhere, just like the original one. Just throw that in there. We don't need it.
Do they have multiple?
I would assume so, because of like we said, they had to change it up and because it's not just a plaque on there, right? It's actually like a piece of stone.
It's a huge base that they've carved in.
On there.
Huh.
So I'm assuming somebody's got the original somewhere where it says like 4-time scoring champ.
That will be an interesting thing because now, you know what? Now it's like the search for the missing Jordan statue. It's like, I wonder what that statue would go
what if
for.
we just started a conspiracy theory right here on this show? That'd be
there's more than one Jordan statue?
That'd be dope. That would be dope. We just send people nuts. You just see, all of a sudden you see YouTubers everywhere just like, Chicagoans break down multiple Jordan statues. Is the first Michael Jordan still alive? What?
Oh wow. What?
You know that's how it be, dog.
What?
Is Gucci Man's clone a ref? That's not, hey, listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm one of them people that I love them conspiracy theory videos, dog. I'll go down that rabbit hole and be dying laughing. But that's how they all talk in them videos. It's just like, is there multiple Michael Jordans? The real Michael Jordan's been in prison since '85.
Man, last time I went down that rabbit hole, my car alarm was randomly going off by the time I get like 30 minutes in. I was like, too much conspiracy theory for me. Y'all going I don't know. My car alarm never goes off. So at this point, I was like, hey dog, you got it. Aliens, whatever. It's not my thing.
No, but I'm looking at different games. I'm gonna be honest with you. Joe Burrow could show me a lot this week if he came out of it with a win. I'm gonna say Miami could show me a lot if they come out this weekend with a win. Miami is the only team now in NFL history to lose 7 games and then win 7 games. They were 1-7. They're now 8-7. And moving there, I mean, it's still, it don't mean much, but it shows you that, to me, it's showing me that this team might actually be on a different trajectory next season. Tua might actually be able to play a little bit of football. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's to win 8 in a row is hard, dog. Now, granted, it's versus the Texans, Ravens, Jets, Panthers, Giants, Jets, and Saints.
He's had a very easy schedule to do it. Easy schedule to do it. Speaking of the Panthers, because that's interesting. Did you see the clip? Oh, the Panthers that don't exist, by the way, which is blowing my mind. Whole team has a name based off of a myth. And it's like, I guess it's fitting for
It's not a
sports.
myth. It's just it's just that people think a panther is an animal, and it's not. It's a description.
What?
So a panther is any big cat that has an overproduction of melanin. So when you see a panther,
You know what? That's
relax. Morning show. Relax.
oh god.
It's any big cat that has a overproduction of melanin. So like leopards can be panthers, jaguars can be panthers, lions can be panthers. If you see an all black lion, it's a panther. You gotta relax, dog.
Okay. All right. I'm with you. All right. So this whole time, Panthers, in all actuality, is just like a tiger or a leopard with the hue turned all the way down. Right. So like
Essentially.
okay. All right, cool. Cause I ain't never seen no all black tiger. And if I did see an all black,
Yeah.
all black lion, if I did see an all black lion, that's just a lion. It's the panther. It's not a panther, it's a lion. Like
I'm just, hey, look, what you want for? But that's why I said that. Me and my guy was talking about it, and we was just like, this. Why does this irritate people so much? Like you saw my boy jump in the comments, just like you didn't watch Zaboomafoo. It's this and that, and this has always been the case. And I was just like, all right, like it's still not an animal.
you know, it doesn't bother me at all. It was just one of those things like, oh, it's an interesting fact. Like it doesn't change anything for me because it's not like I was gonna sit there and say, yeah, I own a panther. Like I don't care. Like
It's just,
it moves nothing for me.
funny. It is funny because it's like it's the Carolina Panthers, and it's like, nah, dog, that's just a real dark mountain lion.
Yeah. Hmm.
Mind blown. That's your early morning knowledge for the day from your boy. Appreciate that, man. I'll be watching National Geographic all night long. I'm not gonna lie to you. If there's not a game on, I am watching Nat Geo or anime. That's all you getting from me.
I'm really big on archaeology right now, so I'm like looking at all these freaking land masses they keep discovering with this lidar technology and stuff like that. It's like there was a whole world within the world that we didn't even know about. But here we go with this lidar technology. It's like, oh snap! Not only were there pyramids, it was a lot of them. Like, okay, all right, that's interesting stuff right there. I guess we weren't so primitive back in the day as they say we were, right? I'm supposed to believe that in what 2,000 years we've gone from like this is the crazy part. This is the nerd in me. I'm supposed to believe in 150 years we've literally gone from horse and buggy to international flights within a couple hours. But for like 5,000-6,000 years, you mean ain't nobody figures none out?
I think technological advances at that point were just different. It was more so technological advances in.
They had the Baghdad battery, which means that they knew how to conduct electricity. You mean to
Oh,
tell
yeah,
me they ain't
no.
figured nothing out?
No, I get what you're saying, but I mean, at that point, that's a big discovery.
It wasn't that big of a discovery if it was etched on their freaking walls. Like they had the blueprint on the hieroglyph. It was like, oh yeah, that definitely does look like a big battery right there. And it actually still works if you follow the instructions on it. It's right there. It's like, okay, we just the idiots.
They was worried about building statues that look like them.
Hey, listen,
in cat form.
have you seen the statues? Dog, You can't tell me that they didn't have advanced technology if you see
Hey,
these freaking
hey, listen.
monuments that they
Hey,
built.
hey, they would look at the Jordan statue today and just be like, "Come on, dog, you got to up your game, man. Come on."
It's like that, just that.
You're
Listen,
not,
that's little detail.
you're not even a Panther.
That just I
You're not
like
even
that one.
half Panther. What are you doing?
I like that one. I like that one. Now, getting back to sports, I know we can nerd out all day. You asked me, does anyone change it for me? I don't know. Nothing changes for me over the weekend. Nothing changes for me um, by tonight's game. Nothing changes for me with Miami. Great accomplishment.
Yeah,
Still not going nowhere. My I still think Patrick Mahomes is going to be the next guy to kind of reign supreme for a few years. Um, Once time hangs it up. So I think it's going to, regardless, I
I'm
just
gonna
think that
say this. I think it's gonna be hard for him to do because of the contract he took.
nah.
It's gonna be hard. They're not gonna be able to pay all them weapons. They're not gonna be able to although they're paid right now, but re-upping them weapons. They're not gonna be able to they need to rebuild their offensive line. That's the most expensive part on the field. But the most expensive part on the team right now is you.
You got to think about it like this. We look at it's not really a $500 million. It's a little less. And all they did was just give him the top of the market today and extend it 10 years.
Well, they set the market.
Dak
But
was already trying to get
hey,
40
listen,
plus.
but it doesn't go the other direction in 10 years. You know what I'm saying? It increases throughout those 10 years.
Yeah, no, Dak was already going to get 40 plus. That's what he wanted. That's what he was negotiating. Um, who else is going to be up? Any QB at this point is going to get 40 to 45. Starting QB on a good team. You're going to
So
get
he's
40 to
got
45.
24 million this year, 31 million next year, 42 the following year, 39. And then let me look on Sports Track here. They only had them. Whew, whew. And then it gets ugly.
It's backloaded. He gets 50.
Oh
He
yeah. No, so here's his cap hit. 46, 44, 46, 41, 59 in 2027. 44, 44, 50, 52. They really went through this contract and structured it. It was like, no, this year we'll pay you this. This year you're gonna take a pay cut. This year. So maybe they will be able to structure it a little bit. I didn't know it was structured like that. I thought it just continuously went up. That's actually not bad. But oh my god, his dead cap money. You can't get rid of this dude.
Yeah, you can't trade him for nothing.
Well, you kind of can in 2026 when he's 31. I don't know why you would, but you kind of can. But it's one of those where a lot of times when you see the quarterback that's getting the bag like that, you don't see the team surrounding him get the bag. And I don't think that we all think that the problem with the Chiefs is Pat Mahomes. The problem with the Chiefs is you need two offensive tackles because you thought paying Kyle Long this year was going to be the move for you. I could have told you that's not going to work out from what he did here in Chicago. You thought that paying you really don't. They really don't have a defense. They have nice pieces. You know, they got the Honey Badger. That's a nice piece. They don't have a
Mhm.
defense built, and I don't know. Like we look at Pat Mahomes as this amazing, untouchable piece with the team that he got now, and that offense absolutely be rolling with that team. But if Pat Mahomes has one off day, and you've had him in fantasy, he's had them off days. If he has one off day, that team's dead in the water because it can't do anything on the other side.
I don't know. Even with the numbers you've met, the $59 million year, that's get your money, young man, get your money. That's going to be 5 years from now, pretty much.
Yeah,
At this point. But everything else, it's kind of just on par. Deshaun is making about the same amount of money. Dak is making about the same amount of money. Russ is going to be making about the same amount of money.
Russ gonna get the bag.
Russ is going to get the bag. Like it's one of those things where it's like that's the market. You figure it the heck out. You have a generational talent who's already won a Super Bowl. You've locked him down for an extended period of time where if he goes on to be continuously great, you don't have to restructure it because you've already paid him. He's already signed. It's kind of like a win-win if they can do it. Now, do I get your point? Yeah, but at the end of the day, you couldn't pay him less than market.
No,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, let's be real. He set the market. He's
I think
making
Deshaun set the market
he's
because
making
Deshaun
more
is making 40 a year with 95 guaranteed.
Yeah, but no, he's making more than Deshaun. He set
Not
the
this
new
year.
market. He set the new market for the next months that's finna get the bag.
Deshaun is going to be making a few million more than him for the next couple of years.
For the next couple of years, yeah, but Deshaun don't have the same contract over the lifetime of the contract.
Which outside of that 1 year, it could be a discount. You could be getting Mahomes at a discount. Let's say they win again this year, and they're consistently on this trajectory. You got them at a discount, to believe it or not.
If you win again, it don't matter how much you got them at. You know what I'm saying? If you win in Super Bowls, I don't care how much you make. They print money. Like, hey, write him a check, leave it blank. Tell him after he win a Super Bowl, fill it in with however many zeros he want. We'll make it happen somehow. But what I look at with Muggs, when I look at when with the team is you have to rebuild around what Pat does. What you've done now is set yourself up to have to draft well, because you're not going to be able to go pay somebody the bag to protect his left side. What you've set yourself up is on a team that's already contending, you have to develop at the most important position, which is fine, which is something that in football you would rather have. I would rather have the cheap offensive tackle, but you also have to find the cheap offensive tackle while you're still probably drafting it 28th to 30th. Where would they fall this year? Probably because they're right now. Are they got the bye, right? They clinched.
I say this: if they're looking for a guy who can draft well late round, I know a guy.
Hey,
I know a guy.
he might
He's
be
done an
available.
excellent job.
He might be available. Hey, listen, don't put him in charge of your first round picks, but he might.
Listen,
be
not the first
available.
round. Not the first round. Second through six, he's gold.
Hey, Ryan pull up in the draft room on like the first and second round pick. What you doing in here? You know you're not supposed to be in here until 5:30. Get out.
Out your room. Once we get past the first round, guess what? All yours, baby.
So the Chiefs right now have clinched. So you're talking about trying to find, and it's something that is an urgent need. Like Pat Mahomes is running for his life. It's something that
most
is
he's ever ran.
So you're talking about a team that is going to be drafting 30th. Do they got a better record than the Packers? Well, it also depends on how far they go in the playoffs. It also depends on how far you go in the playoffs, because Super Bowl winner is 30th. So somewhere in there, they'll be 30th through like 25 or something like that, probably, because I expect them to go pretty far. Can you find that dude? Are you going to find that dude that late? Usually, if he's that dude that is going to protect you, he's not down there. He's a top 5 pick. But you know the Bears when he got Tevin Jenkins and found him, like maybe, you know what I'm saying. But there's always that maybe attached to it because of how much of a premium that position is. Now you've set yourself up where you can't go pay it. You have to go get it, because it's not like Pat Mahomes is the only one getting the bag. Kelsey's also getting the bag. How do did Tyreek re-sign yet?
That's a good question. I don't know
if Tyreek re-signed yet, but are you going to re-sign Tyreek, or do you maybe you hand it off just to Mecole Hardman? Those are the things that he ain't re-signed yet.
No, I'm talking about Hardman.
Oh, well, I'm just saying, like, those are the things you got to figure out. You're gonna have to cut bait somewhere, and I'm gonna tell you what's gonna make you the least successful is if you cut bait at your offensive line. I know Kelsey got the bag. He did before Mahomes. Okay. Mike said he did before Mahomes. So that's one of those where it's I'm not worried about it, one, because it ain't my team, but I'm not worried about it. But it's one of those where I'm like, I'm always concerned when a team gives the quarterback that kind of money and they haven't addressed the biggest issue on the team.
They
Now,
gave
granted,
Tariq.
having the quarterback in the room, if you got a quarterback like Pat Mahomes won a Super Bowl, you pay him. You absolutely pay him. But
They got Tariq at a discount.
how much Tariq making?
They got him at 3 years, 54 million. For the way Buddy be putting up numbers, they got
Well,
him at a
no, because
discount.
it's only 3 years. What's that? That's about right.
It's 18 million a year.
That's about right. It's top wide
19,
receiver money.
18.5. Is it 18?
18.5 for 3 years. That's not bad.
Like I ain't got a big calculator in my hand right now. Duh.
It is wild that we have.
No, it's 18. It was 18 million. I know my numbers. I do numbers.
You said 18.5. I didn't argue with you.
18, 18 a year. What Kelsey get? I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like they're in a situation where you pay them people their money.
Yeah.
And you figure, like you said, I'm not worried about it. Not my team. But if you're gonna throw a bag, you throw a bag at Kelsey. Why? Because Kelsey was what last year led this league in receptions as a tight end. You know, Tariq Hill absolutely makes game-changing plays on a regular. Like, it's one of those things where, yeah, they threw the bag at him. Could it bite him in the behind a few years down the line? Sure, maybe it does. But guess what? I'd rather be on that side of history and say, hey, we won a chip. I tried to keep my guys. Didn't really work out. Than to say, hey, we won a chip. Didn't really know how it was going to work out. And then all of a sudden it's like, but you had the talent there. Like, we always remember those people.
Yeah.
I like people who take big risks. And so they took a risk. I think that was good move. It was a good move.
I don't know how much of a risk it is. Like, we're gonna pay Pat Mahomes a lot. We're gonna pay Pat Mahomes a lot of money. All right.
The way they did it, I thought it was a good move.
Yeah.
The way that he did it, like if they're being, visionaries with it, they got him at a discount. And that was one of the things they were talking about when the contract first hit. When the details of the contract first hit, and they talked about how the cap will be increasing over time and stuff like that, and what the going rate for QBs were now, what the asking price was, they said that you probably got him at a discount for the most of that contract.
Pre-COVID, though. So I think the cap went down last year. So the cap probably won't be at the spot that you thought it would be. But at some point, yeah, you will end up having them pretty much at a discount.
So he's gonna be balling, and he's gonna be one of the highest paid QBs for the next couple of years, and he's definitely gonna be the highest paid QB in 2027. You said? I don't see the cap going up.
Yeah, he gonna be, the cap hit is $59 million for him. But how much is he at? Oh no, cap, not the cap hit. He's making $59 million. His man, that's crazy. He gonna make $60 million that year to slang a football. That's crazy.
Get your money.
Yeah, get your money up.
Get your money. Guess what? They just paid Pat McAfee 120 over 4 to talk sports. Guess what? They could sling the millions over here. We do a good job of it.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you. We one of the best ones out here doing this. Hey, that might be a cocky moment on my part. But I watch, so after the Bulls game goes off, there's a show. And it's Ozzie Guillen and his 2 sons. And it is awful. And I love Ozzie. It is an awful show. And they getting paid to be on TV. It is mind-blowing to me. Y'all need to come throw a bag this way. There's not, listen. There's not anybody else in Chicago that's doing it on the level that we doing it. There's not another show in Chicago that is doing it on the level that we doing it. I'm sorry, dog. I'm watching these shows. I give NBC credit. They came up with the little Bears post-game show and the Bulls post-game show. They didn't came up in the world with that. Because it used to just be a bunch of dudes sitting at a desk. Now it actually looked like a nice little set. They got a nice setup. I like that. But boy, outside of that, y'all give us a budget. Give us half their budget. We gonna make miracles happen.
Nah, I want the bag. I want the full budget.
Hey,
Don't
look,
shortcut me and then expect me to put on a better show. Give me the full budget.
hey, look, we already putting on a better show with no budget.
Oh, that's true.
We already putting
Give me
on a better
70% of the budget. Hey, listen, a lot of this is unpaid hours here. Hey, listen.
unpaid hours.
Mm-mm.
That's why
No
we
way, my
appreciate
boy.
when y'all come through and show that love like that, man. Because it's like, dog. I mean, dog, it's bad, dog. It's bad. You got this talent right here in your front yard. Just know we upstairs going hard. God.
Big bag. Hey man, you sent me a message about Lamar limping.
Bro,
Talk to me about it. We're talking about Lamar Jackson.
bro, it don't look good, bro. He was limping hard. I'm talking about he was getting outrun by Greg Roman. He was trying to do like a little jog. It was just like, he do not look good.
Oh, he's done for the season.
I don't know if he's done for the season. He was still in pads. He was still working out, all of that. He might just be sore. It's Baltimore in the morning. That's a cold day. They was outside. Here's the problem. Lamar's not a good enough quarterback
Ooh,
for him to not have his legs. He's not good enough to stand back there and pick you apart in the pocket. Without his mobility, without his elusiveness, Lamar absolutely has a chance at being another Cam Newton. And I don't want that to happen. It honestly is the part about Lamar that scares me the most. The one thing I've said about him is he doesn't often get hit. But if you can catch him, if he loses even a little bit off that speed, like Lamar is fast. He's freaky fast. He's ridiculously fast. And he's really elusive. But the other dudes on the other side of the field are fast as well. It's not like they slow. That's just telling you how fast they are. If you bring Lamar down to their level where he can get hit, where they can catch up to him, where they can keep up with, he's going to be in trouble. The Ravens are going to be in trouble. The Ravens might be looking for a quarterback in the next 2 to 5 years.
Nah, they got him. He's on the bench. Tyler Huntley does the same stuff. He does the same stuff.
Does the same stuff. Can he
does
do
the same stuff? He can pass.
I guess that's, yeah. I don't know.
The offense is already built for him.
You know what it is,
built around that style of play.
They've only asked him to come in moments. That's the difference to me. Like when you're asked to come in moments, when you're asked to come in, a week before a game gets busting, that's a what's the word? That to me that's like you can catch a team off guard. A team cannot be ready for you because they've never seen you. When a team can game plan for you week in and week out, I don't know if Huntley is that kind of game-changing player. Week in and week out. He definitely can be for 1 week at a time. Maybe 2 weeks like a backup quarterback should. I don't want him to be in there over Lamar Jackson. But if you get to the point where he is the everyday guy or you think he's going to be the one to replace Lamar, I don't know. I think he is what he is, and he came in and gave you some great production. But who do you get that production against? And can he do it consistently when somebody's sitting on the other side? When you got to play Bill Belichick and Bill Belichick's like, this is how we're going to stop this kid because he doesn't have the same speed as Lamar. We can keep up with him. He's very mobile, but I can keep up with that. To me, if Lamar loses the speed, he becomes Tyler Huntley. If he loses anything off of that speed, he becomes Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley's pretty freaking fast.
Tyler Huntley fast too. That's how fast Lamar is, though.
Hey,
Lamar is ridiculously fast and ridiculously elusive. Like, it scares me. And I'm not making like this grand prediction like, oh, Lamar Jackson is done, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's one of those where I look at it and I know that one good hit and He might still be able to stand up back there and play, might still be able to stand back there and throw, but if he can't move like he needs to move, that's it.
This is why Deshaun Watson was always considered the better QB, because he
Yes.
had the speed, but he could stay in the pocket and dominate from that, pick you apart.
Yeah.
That's just a game that hasn't been on display for Lamar. I'm not saying he can't do it, but apparently from what we've seen, and we have a large enough sample size, he's just not the best at it when compared to his peers.
Yeah.
On that we would consider elite. So at this point, I don't look at it as Baltimore is in need of something else, but I feel like they have that person there, because now Huntley has the opportunity to develop that side of the game where, no, I don't have the, game breaking speed that he has, but I absolutely can break out this pocket and put you on your heels.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at this point, I think they're in good hands. Like, I like Huntley. I like what they can do with it. They don't have to make a whole lot of changes. I'm not saying he's better than Lamar, but I'm saying for what they need and how they constructed their team, he can absolutely still pick up the torch and carry it. And but that's the fallacy, and I've said this before too. When you get attached to certain styles of, like, Lamar Jackson's style of play has not won. It's been great to look at. It's been one of those things where we always talk about, but his style of play has not won anything.
Well, Lamar,
And eventually your age catches up to you and you are no longer that player.
Here's the thing though. Lamar's problem isn't accuracy. A lot of people say Lamar's not accurate. That's not true. You're not looking at
Decision making.
it's decision making.
He's a run first. He's geared to run
poor
first.
decision making. He's geared to run first, and when he's forced to pass, what's his touchdown to interception ratio this year?
That's a good
I
question.
think the difference is like 4 touchdowns. He might be like 20-16 on the year. Touchdown to interception.
16 to 13.
16 and 13.
It's not good.
That's poor decision making. It's not accuracy. Listen, when he's on, we've seen him when he's on. He can throw the ball. The statement that he's not an accurate quarterback is a poor argument, and y'all trying to put something that was from the dudes that were like him before on him. I've seen Lamar develop as a passer. I haven't seen Lamar develop as a decision maker.
Now, at the time that they said it, it was legit because his completion percentage was low as heck.
Well, I mean, but they still saying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they saying the same things about him this year. And I'm like, all right, like that's the one thing about this show that I like that we do. Like, we update our arguments for the most part, or we try to. Well, we can look at something and be like, this was last year's thing. With this year's thing, how is this year's thing going? Like with Robert Quinn. I can't say nothing about Robert Quinn. You know why? He's about to be the Bears' single season sack leader. Last season, I had a lot to say about Robert Quinn because he couldn't get off the ground.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to update your argument. And like I just look at Lamar's decision making, and it's scary. You know, it's a long way from the what he had 50 touchdowns the one season. His
36. He's never had 50 touchdowns.
Well, combined, right? 50 touchdowns between passing and rushing, wasn't it?
It's 36.
36? All right, I was a little off.
Because touchdowns that's the thing. Overall stat, like when you just pull up his overall stats, that's a combined stat. This is just how many touchdowns you have.
Touchdowns, yeah, it's combined stat.
So like his touchdown, it looks really good when you think about it.
18 and 13 this season, right?
It looks really good when you look at it, when you look up his stats, because it's like, yeah, look at his touchdown to INT ratio for the rest of the season. But it's like, how many of those was rushing?
Yeah.
From a passing perspective, it's not the best passer, and that's clear. Can he pass versus?
Well, no, this year, most of those touchdowns are passing.
That's great.
This
but
year,
if we just base it off of what we saw,
because they were talking about that, I believe he only has 2 rushing touchdowns this season. Somebody was I was listening to a show and they were talking about that the other day. They were talking about how like he really has tried to be a more would use his arm than his legs, but it hasn't worked out. Mike
I'm gonna be
Davidson
honest with you.
says some of those were off wide receivers' hands, though. Brown been inconsistent this year. Okay, so let's say how many? We not going a huge number.
I'm looking at his passing TDs right now.
Yeah.
He only has 2 games with multiple passing touchdowns. Everything else is is just one. Now,
And the problem there is he has multiple games with multiple interceptions.
that's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Week
what
2,
I'm saying.
one passing TD, 2 INTs. 1 2 1 2. Dang, he had a 4. Dang, do 4 picks against
Yeah, I
Cleveland?
think that's the game you beat me.
He threw 4 picks against Cleveland. All right, look at that. Um, it's not pretty. The Russian TDs, he only has 2 for the season.
That's what I said.
That's what you just said.
That's what they were talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing to me with Lamar. Like he's trying to develop as a passer. I give him credit. It's just not working. And
Again,
maybe it's gonna take a lot more time than what's he been in the NFL? 3 years? Maybe it's gonna take a lot more time for him to become that. Heck, we didn't see Mike Vick develop as a passer till after he had came out of the gridiron game.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You all give a lot of grace when it comes to that type of development that I just don't. Lamar Jackson is who he is, and he's great at who he is. It's just unfortunately there's a ceiling to that, and the ceiling is relatively low. Like I think for the most part, we've seen the best of Lamar Jackson. He's already won the MVP.
I was gonna say if the best of Lamar Jackson is an MVP, that's not bad.
It's not bad, but it's the same trajectory Cam was on. There's nothing different. He's just faster and smaller. But there's nothing different about his game and the way it's set up and how he approaches it.
No, there is. Cause he's more of a like the difference with Cam is Cam had to get beat up. As much as Cam complained about getting beat up, Cam had to get beat up. He was fast, but he was like a linebacker. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't going to outrun everybody on the field. I've watched Lamar be a video game.
Here's the thing. For him to get beat up, he may have to make a decision. The decision was to run.
Yeah, but the decision was to run at the goal line, which means I'm taking on all and Cam wasn't I'm a fake the handoff and then run
Oh,
around.
I'm gonna check.
Cam is you in front of me. Oh, the little dude. I'm going through the little dude, but you taking 9, 7, 9, 10 shots on the way to get through the little dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I look at their games differently. I'll say this: he's developed way better as a passer than Cam Newton ever did. Way better as a passer.
Jury's still out.
Now, decision maker is different. No, decision maker is different, but accuracy wise, being able to hit your receivers in the hands, way better as a passer.
Hey, dog. It's one of the things to me. It's like I can take a decent QB with good decision making, and he can go further than a great QB with iffy decision making, just because it's always going to bite you in the behind. And at the end of the day, I've seen. Listen, I'm a Lamar Jackson fan.
Yeah,
I've seen him have great games throwing, but he doesn't do it consistently enough for anybody here, statistically, or in the chat to sit there and say, "Yeah, he has it." No, you don't have the proof.
No,
you don't have the sample size, and you got mind you, you got an MVP season and 3 other seasons on top of that. I know who he is. This is who he is. He's been in the league 4 years. Won MVP, what, his second year?
Second year. He didn't play rookie year, right?
No, he played.
Flacco was there.
Well, he didn't play as much. You're right. But guess what? Here's the thing. If you look at the yards he put up his rookie season, only starting 7 games versus the rest, it's not a big freaking difference. It's what you would expect. Like his numbers look like, passing wise, look like Nick Foles. That sounds egregious when you say it until you look at the numbers. And then he was like, well, you can't look at the numbers. It's like, well, yes, the numbers don't lie. They don't tell the whole story. And we're seeing his story.
36-6, 3,000 yards, 26 and see, this is just passing yards though. That's just his passing
Now,
yards.
mind you, he has like
I gotta look at the
13,000. He has
Yeah.
12,000 complete yards for his career.
Yeah, I gotta look on Pro
3,300
Football
of them are
Focus
rushing.
because I'm sitting here. I'm like, yeah, he's got 2,000 or he's got 3,000 passing yards, but I think he's got another like 1,500 rushing yards.
He only has 9,000 something passing yards, and he has 3,000 something rushing yards. Comparatively, you know, you compare it to Deshaun Watson. I use Deshaun Watson because Deshaun hasn't played this season. Deshaun has 13,000 passing yards.
Oh yeah, no, Deshaun's a whole different ballgame.
So
Deshaun's a completely different ballgame. But we believe in Deshaun because of the arm.
Yeah, but it's like even you can take a QB who was drafted 2 years ago versus, you know, Lamar's 4. They're just better passers.
Facts. No, I agree with you. That's why I said if he doesn't develop the passing game, he'll be on a very Cam Newton trajectory. He has to. Speed goes away. It just does. It speed naturally will go away for him at some point. I'm sorry to say, like, that's how bodies work. At some point, you're not the same.
Old.
It doesn't mean that he's gonna be slow. He'll probably be 55 years old and still be able to outrun most of the people in the world.
Heck, Mike Vick can still outrun most of the people in the world.
Exactly. Hey, look, you seen T.O.? T.O.'s still getting busy on the 40 time. But the difference is
he can't run them routes the same.
It's not the same as when you're in your prime or when you're younger. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to me, I look at Lamar and I want Lamar to be successful. I want Lamar to be able to ball out because I like he's exciting. He's fun. He brings excitement to the game. But I don't know if I'm confident that Lamar can win when it matters most because I've seen Lamar have a game where he fumbled the ball 4 times. I've seen Lamar have a game where he threw 5 interceptions. I've seen Lamar have a game where he absolutely. I've seen Lamar have multiple games where he is the reason his team did not win the game. And all of the, you know, it's cool when it's a lot easier to deal with when, you know, you're also the reason the week following where your team does win the game, where you've got those bounce back games. But the rah-rah stuff, that's on me. My teammates know that's on me. I put that on me. We're going to work through it. All of that. Like, that's cool.
To a point.
But if I'm on a team with you and I'm trying to win a Super Bowl, you can't continuously play us out of these games. Decision-making got to be better.
And then on top of that, we have to do one.
And this is really, to be fair to him, this is the first season where we've seen it this poor.
That's true. Here's the one thing I want to say. Then I know we'll move off of it because I know it's probably tailwind into something else. But this is also the part where we have to stop bringing in the racial element that comes with the narrative around Lamar Jackson, because while there is a thing and it is real, Matt Nagy, while it is real, the stereotype in this case is kind of proven true.
But the stereotype's dead.
Not the stereotype, that's a bad way of putting it. But the narrative around
him about the black quarterbacks that run first.
In his case, it's definitely proven true.
Yeah, but it's dead at this point.
That's definitely dead. Overall.
Every literally all the quarterbacks in the NFL that are great are black.
I'm black.
And
they slinging that pill.
Still black. Like,
but the thing is, like, you can't be critical of Lamar Jackson without
Westbrook, Russell Wilson.
Please don't confuse the two.
Hey, not with how Westbrook be throwing that thing up. Dog, I tell you, as a Westbrook fan, I ain't got a leg to stand. It's like, Russ, don't cut my knees out from under me, Russ.
Hey, listen, he ain't giving you no help. He ain't doing you no favors.
Hey, look, I'm sitting here now. Somebody came in the chat last night, or I commented on a post last night, And they was like, man, this man Russ is trash, and he always been trash. I said, man, you must be a Laker fan. He was like, yeah. I said, you gonna destroy this man's whole career just because he sucked with y'all? Like, I don't know about always been trash, dog.
It's the same Russ to me, dog.
Hey, well, nah, not this bad, dog. You ain't watching. You ain't watching him.
Same Russ to me, dog. I'm sorry.
Fam,
this Russ ain't.
Russ hit Buddy with a bump through a hook shot. That mug hit the shot clock. This ain't the same Russ, bro. This man.
I could give you like 10 minutes of clips of him doing some stuff like that, just running back on defense. I'm sorry, it's just Russ.
Listen, hey. But they not back to back. These in the same game.
Hey, dog,
you might get one Shaq and a fool moment from Russ. These in the same game.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Hey, Russ came down the court, got to the mid-range, pulled it up from the left side, trying to hit it off the glass. It hit off the side of the backboard and went out of bounds. Hey, this is different. This is different, dog. This is a different level.
Cream rises to the top.
Hey, it's starting to sink.
Listen.
Hey, dog, I ain't got a leg to stand on. I said, I'm still at this point. I'm just defending Russ' career pre-Lakers. I got nothing to stand on with this, dog. Hey. Russ said, yeah, I got it. Let me take your knees out.
Hey, but he gave you a triple-double last night. While Bron ended up giving you almost this twice the amount of Bron put up 37, 10, and 7.
I didn't get a chance to watch that game. How did we go from being on the live call to and being like, oh, they working out Memphis right now? I think we were like maybe an hour into the live call. I'm like, Memphis getting absolutely worked out right now. They were down like 20. I wake up in the morning, Ja Morant scores 41 in a win. Hey, I like Jay Cream also sours. Dog. It's you know what? We never got to break down that point either. That Stan Van Gundy brought up.
Oh.
We never got to break because you wasn't on the show that day. You was down for the count that day.
Let me get the quote. I know the quote about the triple doubles.
Get the quote up on Stan Van and triple doubles, and let's unpack that a little bit. Especially looking at what we saw last night, because let me pull up these stats here. Oh no, that's the wrong game there.
How about the quote was a triple double doesn't mean the player played well,
and it was in response to what Kemba Walker did on Christmas Day.
I thought it was also in response to Russ, who also had a triple-double that day.
Nah, I think it was more pointed at Kemba because Kemba had a triple-double. It was the first triple-double on Christmas Day. Everybody was praising it, but he shot 4 for 16.
Let's dig into it, dog.
I'm not gonna lie to you, dog. And maybe I just gotta watch the game. I'm sure Russ did some wild stuff last night. I'm almost certain of it. But this is not a bad game. Is Russ becoming the scapegoat for Bron? Now Russ doing some dumb stuff out there. But is Russ becoming the scapegoat for Bron?
Everyone is the scapegoat for Bron. We done seen
16,
this story.
10 and 12. He shot 7 for 16, 2 for 4 from the 3-point line.
Everyone becomes a scapegoat for Bron. How about this? That's, in all honesty, you watched it last time you watched the Lakers game all the way through.
The Lakers-Houston game.
All right. So I've watched about 20 Lakers games this season because I really wanted to see if I was being biased, or if I was actually seeing what I saw. Why did you get Russell Westbrook there?
Turnover numbers, dog.
His turnover numbers as egregious. Why did you get Russell Westbrook there?
Run the point.
He doesn't run the point.
No, that's a fact. That's why like it's so weird. Stop getting point guards for Bron.
Stop getting point guards for Bron if you're not going to let them run point. If Bron is not going to play off ball like he should, then at this point you're putting people out of their position, which again, we've talked about this with numerous places. It's all about situations and opportunities. This opportunity to win a championship was not the best situation for him because he's not getting a chance to actually showcase what he can do and be effective the way we're accustomed to seeing him be effective. Now, mind you, he's always had some issues with his decision making. That's what happens when you run.
Russ averages. I did the math last night because he's got 192 triple doubles. In those triple doubles, he has 966 turnovers. So he averages about, what did it come out to? Like 5.5 turnovers a game or something like that. That's a lot of turnovers.
It's a lot of turnovers.
It's a lot of turnovers. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. No, this is.
And then you got to look at it like too. You're playing him out of position.
How many games? So he's played in how many games they played this year? This is crazy. I can't even defend it. It honestly pisses me off. So they 17 and 19. So they played in
36 games.
36 games. How many of those games does Russ have less than 5 turnovers?
8.
A little high. Oh, no, I said less than 5. Actually, okay, I'm not going to kill him on that. God dang. Dog, no. Jesus Christ. 10. Hold on. I was looking at the wrong column.
It's only 10?
God dang. Hold on, no. 1.
He's averaging like 4.7 turnovers at one point.
Actually, there's more. There's more. No, I was looking at the wrong column. I was looking at the wrong column on here. But he's got a game with 10 turnovers. That man's had 20 points, 14 rebounds, 13 assists, 10 turnovers.
He had a quadruple double. Good game. Good game. Like, no, Russ turnovers is high, and it's people playing out of position. The only person who's actually benefiting from this situation is Melo. Melo's had the opportunity to kind of be in a position that he can score. His body, he's able to just like compete. Melo's having a pretty decent season.
See, you would think that.
Decent season. I didn't say it was great. I said decent.
You would think that.
But it fits Melo because he's also not the scapegoat.
Melo
we don't look at it and say, hey, Melo's not showing up.
Melo's not the scapegoat, exactly. Melo be having stretches. I'll say that. Melo will have a 3-game stretch where he got 15 each game. And then he'll have a 2-game stretch where he got 2, 5. But Melo coming off of the bench.
Melo's coming off the bench.
You know what I'm saying?
Melo also has plenty of games where he's put up a dub.
Hey, Melo be putting up shots, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Now, I don't know if coming off the bench is the excuse. Melo got some games where he's absolutely, he got a couple of games where he is 1 for 12, 2 for 15. Hey, Melo getting them shots up.
Melo will shoot. That's
Melo
what he do.
is shooting, boy. 1 for 8 from the 3-point line last night.
That's what they want him to do. I mean, yeah, he got 5 points last night, but he had 24 against Houston, 17 against Brooklyn. You know, he had 9 against San Antonio, but he only took 8 shots.
I feel like they put this team together off names. These names sound good together. Russell Westbrook should help LeBron, but
it only helps if you let him run point.
You're putting Russ in a situation where Russ is the 2.
He ain't never been a good 2.
He ain't
never been a 2.
He ain't never been a 2. What we talking about, a good 2? He ain't never been a 2. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
LeBron needs the ball. He needs to run his offense, which is why I tell people, I've maintained this, and everyone's said it's hate. It's LeBron hate. It ain't LeBron hate. It's a fact. It just is what it is. When you go play with LeBron, you will be playing out of position. There's only one player that's ever played with LeBron that didn't play out of position, and that's because realistically, he's just a natural scorer. That's Kyrie. Everybody else literally was forced to do something different.
He played out of position, but we always thought Kyrie was more of a 2 because he wanted to score the ball more anyway.
So it worked out for him.
Like, he was the point, but if LeBron's handling the ball and giving it to Kyrie in the corner, Kyrie can knock down a wide open three.
Hey, how is hate to need the ball in your hand? Fans can. It's not hate. It's not hate. He needs the ball in his hands. He's a very ball dominant forward. He needs that to. That's how he gets his stats. That's how he runs his offense. And you know that. And you go. You know what?
And
When
see, this
you've
is the
gone to
part that
10
kills
finals,
me.
you can do stuff like that. Like
This is the part that kills me, right? This is the part that kills me about Brown fans. They'll look at last night's game, and Russ turnovers are absolutely high. But they'll look at last night's game and they'll say, Russ, you had 16, 10, and 12, but you had 5 turnovers. You cost us the game. And then they'll look at Brown and they'll say, oh, he had 37, 13, and 7.
but he had 5 turnovers.
Keep going over. Keep going down the stat line.
He
Go
had
that
7
way.
turnovers, didn't he?
Go that way. 5 turnovers. What's costing your team the game? It's not just Russ.
Here's another crazy thing, right? We talked about Russ turnovers. Dog, LeBron is the all-time leader in turnovers.
Hey, listen, these numbers ain't low. 7. Well, you know, he got more that are lower. 7, 2, 3, 3, 5, 6, 2, 4, 4. 4 is a lot. 5, yeah, dog. It's one of them where
LeBron
I
James has 4,673 turnovers, and that stat was as of earlier in November. He's the all-time leader in turnovers.
But kid, when you pass the ball that much, you're gonna have turnovers.
Listen, when you shoot the ball that much, you're gonna have misses. But we killed Kobe for taking all them shots to be all-time leader in that. Oh, and guess what? LeBron's probably gonna take that record too. So at this point, it's like, hey, keep your argument consistent. Keep your argument consistent.
How many turnovers for Brian?
Well, this one says 4,678.
God dang.
Mind you, to put it into perspective, Karl Malone has 4,500.
Hey, Stockton's the all-time assist leader. He's got 4,244.
But here's the thing. Here's the problem. You got 2 people who are ball dominant on the same team starting, and both of them are top 5 all-time in turnovers.
Yeah.
Russ is number 5 all-time in turnovers, 4,061.
Yeah.
It's never been. It was never going to work.
It's never been a strong point. Russ needs the shooters. But you know what the problem is? Let's be real. Let's break down the real problem. What Brian needs is the same thing that Russ needs.
Shooters. They don't have shooters.
You know what puts Russell Westbrook on the next level? 4 shooters around him. When he was out in Washington.
Washington.
What made him good? He had Daniel Gafford and he had Bradley Beal and shooters. They like, you put 2 dudes that need shooters around each other, and neither of them are shooters. Brian a little bit better shooter now, but
he's definitely developed to a better shooter. I have to give him that.
Definitely a better shooter. I don't know why he used to lean back on that jump shot, dog.
He still leans back, but
he still got a little lean, but it ain't as egregious. He used to be fading away on a 3-point shot. You know where I want to see Russ go if they do trade him? Trade him to Philly. Trade him. I would love to see Russ in Philly. You know why? Because he's going to suck in the D, pause, and then kick it out to Joel Embiid for a corner 3.
That was rough. But yeah, no, I get it. And that works. I
don't, and I'm gonna be real. I get Russ wanting to go home, but I would have rather seen Russ go to the Clippers.
He'd fit on the Clippers.
I would have rather seen Russ go to the
You wonder how I know he could fit on the Clippers? Because look who they got starting. Reggie Jackson starting it.
Oh, I'm thinking, what's his name? Yeah.
They had Eric Bledsoe starting at one point.
Yeah.
Right? Eric Bledsoe has a very similar type of game. He's not as productive, but dribble, drive, kick, stuff like that. That's Russ' game. Russ' game is a lot of aggressive drive and kick.
Now with the caveat, I wouldn't want to see him there with Kawhi there.
Well,
Like
Kawhi's never there.
I'm thinking about the unhealthy Clippers. Like Russ
Kawhi's
would be
never
great
there.
over there.
When Kawhi is healthy and when he's on the court long enough, then we can consider that. I've planned for the Clippers to be in the playoffs without Kawhi
The whole year.
for the next 2 years. Like, I mean, it's cool. It's cool. And the Lakers should make some moves. I don't see how, I heard some rumors of they want Ben Simmons. I don't know how that fits.
Hey, I'll
If
say
you
this.
don't let Ben Simmons run point, how does that fit?
I'll say this. If you want to know what the effect LeBron has on players is, go look at what Dennis Schroeder is doing.
You said what?
Go look at what Dennis Schroeder is doing. Now, he's had a few bad games as of late, but so have the Boston Celtics. 16 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. All of a sudden, Dennis Schroeder can play basketball again. All of a sudden, he's a competent point guard again.
I bet you they wish they could take that back.
I probably not. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no point guard that's gonna fit with Bron. It's like you said, his best point guard ever didn't play point. His best point guard ever is basically.
Well, that's disrespect. Dwayne Wade. I overlooked the Dwayne Wade being a point guard. No, he wasn't even a point guard. That was Mario Chalmers.
Yeah,
Chalmers was the point guard.
But that's what I'm saying. Like his best point guard, because Kyrie definitely a better point guard than Mario Chalmers. Not even question. Yeah.
We can agree on that one.
His best point guard ever is basically a 2 guard that's a little bit too small for you to call him a 2.
His best point guard was a bucket getter, and that's what LeBron needs around him. He needs bucket getters. And that's why the experiment hasn't worked out so much. But again, we are sitting there passing a buck. We're blaming Russ, blaming AD, stuff like that. You have to look at the style of game that you have to play around LeBron.
This team together, which in actuality is LeBron. It's LeBron picking the players he wants. I blame the Lakers for, I don't want to say giving him that much power, but for not looking at how you should put the team together around him and having that input. Like, yes, the name Russell Westbrook sounds great. Hey, Brian, do you want to play more off ball? Yes, I would love to, until it gets into the season and Brian's not scoring as much because he's playing off ball.
It's not a good off ball player.
He has to be ball dominant, and that's fine. Listen, Michael Jordan was ball dominant. It's okay to be. Kobe Bryant was ball dominant. It's okay to be ball dominant. But you know what they did? They put players around them that work for ball dominant players. That's why Steve Kerr was standing there wide open in an NBA Finals, because everybody's following the ball dominant dude, and he's just like, "All right,
here I go."
Championship.
But again, you can't say stuff like that without being considered hating and this, that, and the other. And it's like, no, dog. It's like there's a real rhyme and reason to this. There's a reason why it's not working, and it ain't just because everyone else sucks and LeBron is so good. It's because they don't fit with his style of play. All of these players, I guarantee you, AD can go to another team right now. His numbers and all his numbers will go up. AD can go to another team right now. All his numbers will go up.
AD get a lot of opportunity. AD he's made me sad.
Are you watching the games, or are you going by the statistics?
No.
Not every opportunity is good.
I watch the Laker games. I watch them because that's all to be on it. And when I want to watch basketball at 10 o'clock at night, it's like the Lakers or Ja Morant versus nobody. I'm like, I watch the Lakers.
Because one thing I was I like watching Ja. One thing I say is, like, the name Kevin Love came up in the chat. Kevin Love, from a shot perspective, he was taking somewhat close to the same amount of shots he was taking on his own team. but the opportunity and where he had to get those shots was vastly different. So
Kevin
it's
is
not the
different.
same. Now AD is not in that same
Kevin,
situation.
Kevin, Kevin is a different story altogether though, because Kevin changed his body type because he didn't like how he felt. His was a mental thing. Kevin, like, listen, you lose the kind of weight Kevin Love did, you're not gonna grab the same amount of rebounds. he's still 6 feet tall, but Kevin Love was a solid. Kevin Love was a big boy.
Kevin looks like Jokic.
Kevin looked like Jokic. Kevin absolutely looked like Jokic. But
Jokic lose 20 pounds right now, he gonna look different.
Listen, you lose that kind of weight, you're not gonna grab 20 rebounds as easy. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying?
But he had an offensive game that was, 15 feet, between 15 feet and the rim. Hey,
Yeah.
that's his world.
Yeah.
But when you got to stretch that out because you're playing with someone who needs that lane to be effective.
But even that, like, to me, that's even, Kevin Love is, but he wasn't a turnaround fadeaway Jay in your face guy. He wasn't. I'm gonna hit you with the bump. I'm gonna turn around, get you off of me, knock this down, run back down the court. Kevin Love was a powerhouse. Kevin Love
has a nice post game.
He has
a left and a right turnaround.
He's got a better no, I'm saying a turnaround to the rim. He's got the I hit you, turn around, get to the bucket. But he had the body to do that. When he changed his body style, you know what I'm saying? He's not gonna hit you with now he's developed the post fade and stuff like that. But when he was in Minnesota, he wasn't worried about doing a post fade. When he was in Minnesota, he was like, hit you with this, get up out my way, lay. And if I miss it, I'm gonna grab the rebound and I'm gonna put it back up.
Here's you know what adds to this? Everyone kills AD now, but we totally forget that last year AD carried the Lakers into the finals.
The Lakers.
Hey, AD carried them well into the final, well into that last moment, and then LeBron takes over for the finals and gets that MVP. That was AD's run. Go back and look at it. I'm not saying LeBron wasn't good, but AD was playing out of his mind.
AD's still playing out. When AD, he's played worse this season, but when AD come back,
24 and 10 still. That's not playing like a scrub. I don't know where we're getting this from.
It's not playing like a scrub, but it's also not playing like AD. Like that year, it was like, oh, he talking about best big man in the league right now. That's how he was playing in that finals run.
Oh, the difference between him and the best big man right now is 2 shots.
That's 4 points.
Yeah, but guess what? The other big men don't have the powerhouse of big name talent that needs the shots like he does. For him to still be getting his 24 or 22 points with the team that he's on and how them shots are getting distributed and stuff like that, it's actually impressive. AD is still getting his money. I don't know where this narrative is. It's exactly that. It's just narrative because you see Lakers, you see LeBron, you see a losing record. You're like, it can't be LeBron. And guess what? It might be.
It can be LeBron.
It can.
It can be how the team is built. It can be how the team is put together, how the team is structured. Because the best move they made this offseason was Melo. Because Melo fits what Brian needs.
I was about to say the best move they had was keeping Tucker.
Tucker even been up and down because Tucker got to drive more. Tucker not gonna hit you with the spark up consistently. He can have a game where he spark you up, but he not gonna hit you with the consistent spark up.
Hey, Tucker last season versus this season, what's the difference? The difference is you brought in another big name that takes up that space. But if you looked at what he was developing into, since we're real big on development here in Chicago.
Let me get that off of you. Let me get that off of you.
Hey, we're real big on development here in Chicago. Hey, listen.
Development everywhere. It don't matter. I like how Jordan Poole developed.
Oh, that's developed real nice. Guess what?
That's development.
Jordan Poole developed real nice.
Hey, Jordan Poole was buns, dog.
Listen, he was Kobe White buns.
I sent you that, and you were just like, oh.
Hey, 3 from the field. Not even from 2, from the field. Next season goes to 0.42. I'm happy the glow up happened for him.
Hey, that man was buns, dog.
The man was trash.
He'll tell you he was trash.
The man was trash. But guess what? That's development. And now he's making the most of his opportunities, dropping 17 points a game. 3rd season, you can see the development. Talon ain't have it. I always get his name wrong. It's Talon or Taylor. Anyway,
Talon.
Talon.
Yeah.
He ain't getting them same opportunities playing behind Russ when he ain't have Russ perform the first time.
Nah.
He ain't have Melo on the side of him looking for them shots. Right? So that you're taking opportunities away. That's going to affect someone's development.
On your AD point, they taking the same shots. Jokic just outplaying that boy. They both taking 18 shots a game.
Yeah, but Jokic takes more threes. Jokic takes more threes. He makes more threes, and he's the focal point of that team.
3-point shot be hilarious, dog. He be letting that mother fly. AD take 2.
How many does Jokic take?
I gotta look it up. I can see that though. Hey, Jokic will walk into a 3. Jokic be like, "Yeah, I'm here," and in your face. Take that with you. Appreciate
Jokic takes 4 a game.
Yeah.
And Jokic is averaging 25.8
from the 3-point line.
No, he's averaging 25. He's averaging 25.8 points a game.
Oh, I thought you meant he was averaging 25.8% from the 3-point line. I was like, stop taking him. Russ averaging 25%.
And yes, Anthony Davis is averaging 23.3. 23, 9, and 3 versus Jokic 25. What's Jokic averaging? 25, 14, and 7. There's a big difference on the rebounding tip. And the assist tip. Jokic is a freak right there. Yeah, that's a stat to make you go,
But you know what? I think that's the frustration with Anthony Davis. Because we've seen Anthony Davis do that. We've seen Anthony Davis be what Jokic is being right now. And I'm sure it's an adjustment with Bron. I'm sure it's an adjustment with trying to adjust to the players you have there. But to me, Pelicans Anthony Davis was absolutely a better player than Lakers Anthony Davis. Now the problem is neither of the Anthony Davises were healthy.
Anthony Davis is statistically playing better than he did last year.
Nah, he's averaging less in points. Wasn't he averaging 25 last year?
No, he's averaged 21 points 21.8 points a game, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks.
Last year is a crime, then. He was averaging 21 points.
He's averaging 23 points a game, nearly 10 rebounds, 9.9. So I'm gonna give
him
a
point. You don't think he should be a 25-point player at a minimum, though?
I don't think the 1.7 point differential on his team makes that big of a difference when you got LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Russell Westbrook.
But at the same time, dog, he's not getting better.
He's not getting what?
He's not getting better. He's gotten worse every year. He's gotten worse every year since he's left New Orleans.
That's not true. His first year in the Lakers, he put up the same production. He doesn't rebound as much.
In New Orleans, he had a season where he averaged 28 points a game.
Okay, 28 and 11. I'm looking at him. But his last season in New Orleans, he averaged 25.9, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks.
25 and 12. First season in LA, dominant. They won the championship first year he was there, right?
Second season.
That was bubble year, right? I thought the bubble year was first year.
It's kind of split up. The way they have it, it's kind of split up. So yeah, sure.
Yeah, first year he was there, 26 and 9. Dominant AD. Dominant AD. Next season, 21 and 7, 36 games. 2021 in 27 games, 23 and 9. Like, that's not better. Like, he should be better. I love AD. He was at one point I was arguing that AD was better than KD. It was a losing argument, but I was arguing.
Yeah, I would have never made that argument.
It was a losing argument. He was averaging 28 that year.
Dog, he's 23, 10.
Listen, it's not bad. But
23, 10, and 3.
It's not what he should be.
With 2 blocks a game.
It's not bad, but it's not what he should be. AD, the whole thing, how this was supposed to go was AD was supposed to be taking over, becoming the number 1 down there. And AD steadily regressed and just hasn't been healthy as per norm.
I mean, he hasn't been healthy.
I mean, that's normal though. He wasn't healthy in New Orleans. I don't think he's ever played a full season.
He's never played a full season.
Yeah, no, he's never been healthy. The first time he was healthy was the playoffs. And I think he got hurt in the finals, didn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was Boogie. Boogie got hurt.
Well, I know Boogie got hurt in the finals, but didn't AD get hurt as well?
No. Oh, I'm thinking about New Orleans. My mind just totally just jumped.
Yeah.
But no, he was limping into the finals.
Yeah.
But he absolutely carried them all the way up there.
No, I get that, but that's the season with 26-9. You averaging 26-9 and whatever. I got nothing to say to you, but I know you're supposed to be averaging 26-9 and 8 or whatever it was, and you all the way down to 21-9 and whatever. No, yeah, you still grabbing boards, but what happened to the AD that was getting buckets?
He's averaging less shot attempts. Like, you know, I'm a numbers guy. I'm like, the difference between 23 points and 28 points is 2 shots. And if you look at the shot attempts, he's taking less shots. So guess what?
Nah, not since he's been in the Lakers. His first season, he averaged 17.7 shots. His second season, 17 shots. He's averaging 17.9 shots this year. That's the same. That's not less shots.
Looking at the averages, right?
I'm looking at how many field goals he averaged.
I'm looking at the field. You can compare him to his best season, which is 28-11, to now.
He took 20 shots. His first
17.
His first season in
the direct
LA,
correlation.
No, his first season in LA, he averaged 26.
I got you.
On 17.7 shots.
Young man, I got you. I hear what you're saying. I absolutely hear what you're saying. But he also got to the free throw line more that season, too. He was averaging 8 free throw attempts a game versus what he's averaging now. It's a marginal difference when you look at the full statistical outline.
Listen.
Like, you see the difference there? He's averaging right now.
You paid to be the best big in the league, right?
You said 26 points to 23 points right now. So he first came, he was averaging 26 points. He's averaging 23 right now. But he's also taking 4 less free throws a game. If you just read the full stat line, it's there. It's not me coming at you. It's like no one looks at the full stat line and say, okay, the numbers will reveal what the ratio is, and the ratio will tell you, hey, listen, where is he coming short? He's getting to the line less. But guess what? The league has a lot of people are getting to the line less.
Yeah,
and the numbers are being affected by it.
But they still making production.
I don't see how 23-10. 23 and 10 off of 52% shooting is bad with 2 blocks.
It's not
on average a game.
It's not bad. But he was brought there to be the dude that was 28 and whatever, 28 and 12. Like, let's not act like he wasn't brought there to be the face of the franchise after LeBron is done.
It's easy to say that, but in all actuality, they didn't build this team like that. They tried to stuff this with a bunch of people who are trying to still maintain certain narratives too.
I mean, this team, I'll give you that, but we saw this with AD last year.
I mean, AD wasn't healthy.
Which
is why he got the streak closed down. And listen, his numbers are affected because he's not on the court. But when he's on the court, he's productive.
Yeah, but his numbers are based off of what he did while he was on the court. So in 36 games, he averaged 23 points. 36 games is a large sample size for you to go down to 23 points. Or no, 21 points. And I'm assuming there's some 30 and 40-point games in there. I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt that he balled out on a couple of mugs.
So that means he goes up from 21 points to 23 points after getting healthy. That's a good thing. That's progress. That's not regress.
But he didn't come back, is what I'm saying. Anthony Davis got hurt and didn't come back during the regular season last year. So he played 36 games and averaged 21 points. Are we acting like Anthony Davis is not supposed to be the 25 and 12 dude?
The drop off for me is not that big, and there's other reasons why the drop off exists outside of his health. Because when he's healthy and available, AD's balling.
He can ball. I don't take that away from him, but he's not balling at the level that he was.
And in fact, earlier this season, when they were talking about AD, he was averaging 24.7, 10.2. Like I looked at that stat line, I was like, how is 24.7 with 2 blocks on 50% shooting with 10 rebounds a bad thing?
So
in what world is that a bad thing?
So he's playing as well as he played in New Orleans. To you, he's playing as dominant as he was playing in New Orleans. He was dominant in New Orleans.
Here's the thing. What year in New Orleans? You talking about the 2016, 2017? Yeah, absolutely dominant. But guess what? It's just him.
No, when him and Boogie were together, they was dominant in New Orleans. That season, now granted, both of them end up breaking their bodies. But that season where Boogie was there, what was that? That 2018?
No, I think
2019, one of them, 2018, I think.
It was 2017.
2017, 2018. Him, Boogie, and Rondo. 28 points a game. He's got, I think I was looking at something wrong. He got a couple 28-point a game seasons.
We got 2.
He got 2.
He also was averaging 20 shots. So it's like there's a direct correlation there. He averaged more shots.
Listen.
And he makes them at a 50% clip. So if I'm averaging more shots, I'm going to put up more points. If I'm getting to the line more, I'm going to get more points. Hey, those 2 things have been taken away because he's on a team where he's getting less shots.
Get your shots then. Who fault is that? You taking shots away from Shaq? You taking shots away from Zach? You taking shots away from DeMar? I don't know why I said Shaq. Taking shots. I was like, I went back there. I don't know what that was.
I thought you were making a Laker point. I was like, I guess not.
I was going there. I went back to DeMar. I don't know.
I was like, Kobe definitely did say no, I'll work for it, but okay. I don't get it.
Like, are you taking shots away from dudes that get like Zach LaVine's still getting his shots with everybody being there now? He's still getting his shots. Still taking 20 to 25 shots a game.
Who's still taking 25 shots a game?
Zach LaVine. He probably taking, I don't know, what is it, 22, something like that a game? But I bet you it ain't far off from what he's been averaging his whole career.
I mean, he's taking 19 shots a game. But he's also averaging.
This man is efficient.
He's also averaging within 1 point less than his best season he's ever played. So I mean,
which was what, last year?
Yeah, his highest average was 27 points on 20 shots. He's taking 19.3. He's averaging 26. Like it's not a that's not a direct correlation. Like
but what I'm saying is, you brought DeMar in from a team that Zach had no body on, and he was still taking 19 shots a game. You brought in DeMar, you brought in Lonzo. Zach's still getting his 19 shots a game. I don't care who's on the team. Get your shots. Like whose fault is it that you're not getting your shots up? You're AD. You're Anthony Davis. You were at one point the most dominant big man in the NBA. Now you a dude that Jokic be babying.
Jokic baby's the league.
Jokic baby in the league out here.
I mean, if the only person we can compare him to that he gets babied on is Jokic.
Hey, listen, there's
still
only,
very good company.
There's only 2 dudes that you can compare him to, maybe 3. Like there's only 3 real centers in the NBA.
You're only comparing them to Embiid and Jokic.
Embiid, Jokic, maybe Vooch. You know what I'm saying? When Vooch is on, you know what I'm saying? Like there's literally 3 dudes we could bring up for. Hey, maybe Mobley though. Mobley coming up. Mobley next up, man. I like that, man.
Christian Wood, maybe. I don't know.
Nah,
Christian Wood ain't got it.
Christian Wood look like a tall, small forward.
I mean, it's a 6'11" small forward. I mean, like,
it's just one of those where I look at it and I'm Cat. Yeah, I guess Cat too. No. Hey, Cat got him.
Even with the
Cat got him this year though. I give Cat credit. Cat got him this year.
Cat balling right now.
Hey, but let's not act like it ain't been a long battle of AD just dominating this way. That's like the Bears getting the Packers for that 1 year.
Hey, but even with the Levine point though, like you made a good point on that one. But you know what also changed? Zach started making more threes.
Well, yeah, he started shooting them.
Right.
Zach was shooting them last year though.
So here's the
Like, let's
point.
not act like he wasn't walking up to the line and just like, yeah, I'm that dude.
So here's the point. It's just to put it into perspective. Levine averages 1-3 more game in production than Anthony Davis, but he takes 3 to 4 more shots a game than Anthony Davis.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not asking Anthony Davis to take
The
15
margin is very small in reality
but kid,
against,
I'm not
you
asking
know,
AD to take 5 threes. He's a big man. I'm asking AD to make a couple more layups.
I'm gonna tell you this. We need to have the real conversation is, let's stop talking about AD because he's giving you solid production. It may not be AD of old, but guess what? That happens in the league. But he's giving you solid production when he's available. He's giving you solid production when he's on the court.
The part
How
you're talking
about we
about,
talk
maybe
about
is a
not
big.
averaging 5 turnovers per key player? LeBron and Russell Westbrook would equate to about, on average, 8 to 10 turnovers a game. That affects a lot of stuff right there, right? Like, there's a whole lot of stuff we can focus on. I'm not concerned about Anthony Davis's numbers, and I'm not gonna. I don't subscribe to the whole, well, Anthony Davis needs to. No, he doesn't. Anthony Davis is giving you very good production. You want him to score 28. He don't have to score 28. He can score
guess.
24. He can give me 24, 10 at 50% shooting and give me 2 blocks a game, and he's still on par to be. I mean, he's still what, top 6? I can look it up. I don't know why I'm trying to guess. I think he's top 6 in blocks. He's definitely top 10 in blocks.
Yeah.
So street clothes, for some odd reason, that gets all this. He's top 10 in rebounds.
Yeah,
top
he
10
get
in
a lot
blocks.
of the hate for being street clothes.
Yeah, like he gets a whole lot of hate, and he's probably the most consistent player outside of LeBron on this team. No, ain't no probably. He is the most consistent player out of LeBron on this team.
I don't know about that. I mean, Russ consistent. He just consistently.
Dog, you just a Russ fan. Russ is not that consistent. Like Stan said, just because you got a triple-double don't mean you're effective.
I know.
And I've been on that train for 3 years. Russ is not that effective.
Hey, look, he's consistent.
Consistently bad. Like, consistently turns the ball over.
Hey, listen.
Right?
Now that I agree with.
Hey.
The turnover take I agree with, but yeah, he wins.
I tell you what, for those who want it, if AD can give me 50 to 60 games a season, I'll take his 23 and 10 on the Bulls with 2 blocks a game.
Of course I would.
I'll take it.
But you know what I'd rather have? 28 and 12.
Yeah, I bet you would. But
You
guess
know
what
I'm saying? Like let's not act like just because he's still productive, let's not act like he's playing at the level he was playing.
Caveat.
He is still productive.
Caveat. We mentioned big men. Jokic, MVP, freaking nature.
Yeah. He's probably gonna win it again.
Probably gonna win it again. He's doing everything on that team. So the next big man up is who? Embiid.
Dog. I forgot Code outside. He just pulled up to the window like a G. He just scared the mess out of me.
Coda is his dog, for those who can't see it. It's a freaking a beast of a dog.
He all right. He built for the outside, but I was concerned when I just seen him at the window, like looking at me like, my G, I'm out here. What's good?
Joel Embiid is the next big man.
Joel Embiid, yeah.
He's averaging 26 points. Taking more threes, getting to the line more. He's averaging 26 points.
Yeah.
The margin is small. The margin is small.
Hey,
you know what it is? The lights are just brighter in LA.
No,
You're playing with LeBron, and you have someone like Chuck that calls you street clothes and it catches fire.
No, I hear you. It doesn't mean he's playing at the same level he was. Both things can be true. He's not. Hey, you can say the margin is a couple of shots, but a couple of shots is the margin for a lot of game-winning opportunities.
You know what the real drop-off is right now? Russ ain't playing the same as he's been.
Nah, Russ ain't. I ain't got no defense for LA Russ. I ain't gonna lie.
Russ numbers are down across the board.
I can defend Washington Russ. I can defend Houston Russ. I can't defend LA Russ. LA Russ is bad. Because I'm watching LA Russ and I'm just like, what are you doing? LA Russ looked like he playing at Export. But to me, that don't tarnish your career.
All right.
See, that's the part that I don't like.
No, listen. It doesn't
That's the
tarnish
part
his
that I
career.
don't
He's
like. It's
still going
like
to be a 2-time scoring champ, 3-time assist champ. He's going to be a Mr. Triple Double. All of that stuff is legit. But you know what else can be true? You did all of that stuff, and it doesn't mean that you were actually all that great. The narrative with Russell Westbrook and the proof in the pudding with Russell Westbrook is, yeah, he does a bunch of stuff. He does everything.
and he wins. He don't win
What?
championships, but he wins.
Okay, well, show me the wins.
What
You know, I'm not a regular season fan. I'm not. The regular season means absolutely nothing to me.
Okay.
You make the great
Hey,
players
listen,
should be making the
it's a lot
playoffs.
of it's a
He
lot
made
of
the playoffs. So
it's a
at this
lot of
point, give me the wins at that point.
didn't he make
There's one series that comes to mind with Russ that absolutely he's the reason they made the playoffs. He's the reason they won those games. There's only one series that comes to mind. Outside of that, it is a complete dud.
So he gets no credit because he played with Kevin Durant, even though he was still being productive.
You call that being productive?
They lost in the finals, but he was being productive throughout the playoffs.
Okay. We can go look at the stats. I mean,
and if we talking about the finals, you know what I'm saying? All of them was trash.
Guess what? The funny thing is, we go from
listen,
Lamar.
Every single one of them was trash.
Every one of them was trash. But guess what? You know what? I'm gonna use your statement. You know what can be true? You made the finals. You do a lot of stuff on the court that can help your team, but you also hurt your team at the same time. The same argument we just had earlier about Lamar Jackson and about his decision making is the same argument I can have with Russell Westbrook. All the talent in the world, very poor decision making. And the decision making at times is very egregious to the point where it's clear you're chasing a stat. And we've been saying that about Russ for a long time.
This is the thing. We weren't saying that about Russ then.
No, you wasn't saying that about Russ.
No, nobody was saying. We weren't saying that about Russ till he started getting triple doubles. That's when all of a sudden it became.
I've been saying that about Russ when it was clear. When Steven Adams was like sitting there about to get the rebound and Russ comes and starts taking it on a consistent basis. You see it on ESPN. There's no reason for him to be doing that.
What's he supposed to do? A shot goes up. Why he not supposed to go get the rebound?
My big man is there for the rebound. Why am I taking myself over to get my big man can get the rebound and outlet it to me?
Yeah, hey, listen, and you know when it
you're gonna make a good argument for it.
You know when it looks bad when you and your big man don't jump for it and somebody else come get it. So how about we both jump for it? We both get and one of us get it. Let's not act like Steven Adams wasn't getting rebounds with Russ over there.
Dog. He's your guy. You like him.
Hey, listen.
I know you're a Russ fan, but some narratives are going to stick, and the proof is in the pudding. There's actually tape of that with Russ. That's not a fan made up thing. There's tape of Russ doing that. After a while, you can't defeat it. It just is what it is. You can't defeat the fact, just like with LeBron. It's not narrative. It's not narrative. Your game changes when you play with LeBron.
If my point guard gave me 27, 6 and 6, 1 steal, 0.4 blocks, and 11 turnovers through 5 games in the NBA Finals, I wouldn't be upset by it.
Okay, well. And the one finals he made, he did good. I appreciate it.
Hey, listen, what do you know what I'm saying?
Continue the stat line. He gave me 27. What did he shoot?
43%.
He shot 43%. So how many shots did he take?
He took.
How many turnovers did he have?
11.
He had 11 turnovers?
In 5 games.
He had 11 turnovers?
In 5 games.
So on average, it's 2 to 3 turnovers a game? Or did it just like...
Probably one
big game.
Hey, listen, probably one game with like 8. It's probably one game with like 8. But you know what? This is the thing, right? It's all built on Russ is taking this away from his team. No, Russ is playing harder than everybody else.
That's a good way to spin it.
Russ is playing harder than everybody else. He took 120 shots. He made 52. Kevin Durant took 104 shots. No, that's the part that you got to have beef with. He took 50. He made 57. You can't have Russ. You can't have Russ with more shots than KD.
No, say that last part again. He took 120 shots. He made 52.
Yeah.
KD took 104 shots and made 57.
He made 57.
Which goes to show you that the more effective player was who?
It was KD, for sure.
Has always been.
Always going to be. I wouldn't say Russ is better than
Right.
KD. That's not the
So
argument.
why is Russ taking that many shots?
He got the ball in his hand.
Okay. Bad decision making.
Hey,
the funny thing is, the numbers will reveal a ratio that will support.
Hey, you want to know what the numbers are?
That will prove or disprove a narrative.
Hey, you want to know what the numbers are? The person that led that team in turnovers was not Russell Westbrook.
No, it wasn't. It's KD.
It was Kevin Durant.
It's KD. Now, here's what I want you to ask.
We want to talk about the person that really played them out of that.
Here's what I want to ask you. Because then here's another advanced statistic that they have. How many of those shots, how many of those turnovers were due to out of play, ball out of bounds, 3 violations, stuff like that? Go into that's where advanced analytics actually does matter, because it reveals a whole narrative. And unfortunately, the advanced analytics on Russ is bad.
Hey.
It's one of those things where when you really start digging into it, it looks really, really good on paper. But there's a reason why Stan can make that statement and get a lot of support for it, because in all actuality, Russ is that one player that in 20 years, we're going to look back and be like, that dude killed it. And I'm going to be that old guy, but like, it didn't look like it looked on paper. It just did.
It didn't look like it looked on paper till he got with Harden.
It never looked like it looked on paper.
Russ was the only reason that team made the playoffs. That first team.
Listen, had a great season. I'm not taking that away from him.
A bunch of great seasons. The thing I don't like is Muggs look at Russ.
Hey, you see how you defended that season, but you're killing AD, who's actually having a good season?
What are you talking
about? You're killing AD, who actually had a good season. Like, hey, Anthony Davis is having a good season. And you're like, but he's not doing this. And on paper, it's like, Russ had a good season. It's like, no,
that's not the same debate. I'm saying that Anthony Davis is not playing.
It's just
Anthony Davis. My point was Anthony Davis is not playing as dominant as he was before. Russ is playing worse now. I gave y'all that. Russ in LA is bad.
Russ has been playing worse since 2015, but I mean,
not really.
Look at it.
Does Russ get?
Look at it. No, don't look.
Does Washington get to the finals without, or get to the finals? Relax. Does Washington get to the playoffs without Russ? Because I saw it when Bradley Beal was taking them shots. They was losing.
Okay, so here's the funny thing about saying that. Who did Bradley Beal have on his team to help him that beforehand?
Oh, the only player they really added when Russ came back was Daniel Gafford.
So your argument is Bradley Beal has another all-star who finally comes in and they finally click and they make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. To me, that is what should have happened in the first place, because Bradley Beal made the playoffs with John Wall.
Right.
So you're not saying anything special. You're just saying, you're really saying what should have happened.
Yeah, but
they came, they didn't click at first, and then they finally gelled, and they made the playoffs because they started to gel and play well together. That's what you should expect when you bring in another all-star to play with your all-star.
It's not that they didn't click at first, but Russ was hurt at the beginning of the season. But here's the thing: I've seen Russ win by himself.
They didn't click at first. COVID hit them hard. They had a lot of stuff go against them.
Russ was hurt. Russ was hurt most of that season. Russ didn't come back till right after the All-Star break.
But then Beal was out, and then they had a lot of COVID issues. And then when they finally got it together, they made a run. And ironically, hey, it's like, okay, we can see what this team is doing. And they make the playoffs. Did Russ play well? Yeah, but I expected Russ to play well. I brought him there for that. I didn't expect him to be the reason they win, because he wasn't the reason they won. Because if they would have won, they went further. But Bradley Beal needed another star player next to him, and that's what Russ was. And that's how it worked out. That's not overinflated to make it seem like he's the reason why. No, it's a lot of things happen at the right time for them to make the run.
When Russ does what we expect him to do, it's not stat padding. But when Russ does it by himself, he's stat padding.
No, here's the thing. When Russ is doing all the stuff he needs to do,
because
let's say stat pad is the thing. Guess what? On the Washington Wizards at the time, I want stat padding Russ. Because I have nobody else outside of Bradley Beal.
Hey.
Name the guys.
Oh,
that's why I brought in Russ.
Denny Avdia.
Yeah, I was wrong on that one, right? But so that's why I bring in Russ, because I have no one else. So I need someone who's going to run like I need someone who's going to run that hard next to my star player, and that's what you got. And it turned out they made the playoffs. That's not saying anything special. He just filled in a gap. The problem is when Russ is playing that hard, and there are actually people there who can help facilitate this to make the job easier, and it's not looking any better. That's what happens.
When does that happen?
Oh, it's happening. It's happened plenty of times.
Because in Houston,
decision making is happening plenty of times.
Because if we're talking about it in Houston, Russ was used probably 38%, while Harden was used 54%. So Harden's still basically playing point most of the time there, same like he did when Chris Paul was there, which is the reason they didn't go further. He's now in LA. Brian, I would bet his usage is through the roof because he's ball dominant.
You said what happened in Houston?
What happened in Houston when he was down there with James Harden?
I'm trying to get the point, because I mean, what happened in Houston is
what I'm saying is you put Russell Westbrook on a team where you said that Russ's last 3 years he's absolutely fallen off. In 2 of those years you put him on a team where he wasn't playing point guard. 1 year in Houston, this year in LA.
He actually had a good season in Houston. He averaged 27 points.
Yeah, but then in the playoffs they were like, give James the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what, like, Russ's usage in LA is 27%. 27% of the time Russ is being used.
On a team like the Lakers, that makes sense.
Yeah, but
that's actually probably too high.
But you're asking him to be a point guard. A point guard's usage should be higher.
Not drastically.
If you have the ball in your hand all the time, making all the decisions,
that's not the only indicator. You're looking at usage rate as you're looking at that statistic wrong. Like, usage rate is in how many plays are they dependent on your particular action that leads to a particular outcome. Like, your point guard doesn't have to have an extremely high usage rate to be effective. Like Michael Jordan's, we use Michael Jordan because he has had the highest usage rate, right? But like,
we saw usage rate with a win. James Harden actually has the highest usage rate.
Like, yeah, so we look at that usage rate, right?
Yeah.
When we look at how that game, he would bring the ball up and go straight into an ISO. Like, right now, if we look at usage rate, I bet you DeMar DeRozan's usage rate is highest on the Bulls. Has to be up there. It's just the way that he gets his money.
With his ISO, gotta be.
It has to be. He comes right down to it.
30%.
It's 30%.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot when you got Zach LaVine next to you.
That's a lot. And in perspective, you got to look at how little it is compared to what James Harden was doing. He's getting used
20% lower,
56% with Chris Paul on his team, dog.
Look at Chris Paul's usage rate.
Let's see. I love that we just had a nerd off in here. 20%.
Chris Paul's absolutely leading that team. So it's like the way you calculate usage rate is not just
14, 9, and 4. I can see that. 20% makes sense on that. 14, 9, and 4. Wait, was the 9 rebounds? Hold up.
No, I think the 9
It couldn't have been. I'm not even going back to look at that. It couldn't have been. I thought it said rebounds down there. Now, you know what? We make career statements on dudes because of what we see right now. And it's just not the case. We're making career statements on Russ when if you actually go look at Russ year by year, he's been very impactful to winning. Russ hasn't lost a lot. His win percentage is like 72% when he's got a triple-double. That's freaking high. Now, granted, it doesn't translate to him getting to multiple championships, but I say the same. Getting in the NBA, the best player in the world's get to a championship. Go back 20 years, we naming 10 names. Go back 30 years, we naming 10 names. Jordan, Kobe, Duncan, Curry, Bron. That's 5. The best players in the world win in the NBA. That's always how it has been. Bird before that, Magic before that. Or well, I get that more to Kareem, but
You know, I love the triple-double stat because what people hear is Russ averages a triple-double for 3 seasons, and then you hear the statistic. When Russ gets a triple-double, it equates to winning. But you can absolutely average a triple-double and not have a triple-double every game, which is ultimately how it's shaping up for Russ, because overall his winning percentage,
yeah, he come down. He got some games where he don't have triple double.
no, his overall winning percentage is not as high as that stat that you brought up would give you.
Yeah, but what the statement is that when is Russ's stat padding and it doesn't lead to wins. It's not true. I get you that in the rest of the season, you know, he might come up a triple double short or something like that, and they probably get a loss. What's his record the last 3 years? Actually, Houston, they won a lot, you said.
They
So
won a
yeah,
lot.
what they win 50 some games, 56 games.
They didn't have, like, James Harden has not had a losing season since leaving OKC.
Yeah. So he won there. They had a winning season in Washington, but Russ wasn't on the floor for most of that. And then they having a losing season here.
Both things could be true. Like we said, you playing with LeBron James, your whole game has to change, but you're going to win games. Russ could do all of these things, and it doesn't,
or not.
Russ could be doing all these things, but it doesn't mean that he's actually the best option for the team in long-term success. And the proof is in the pudding. He hasn't been the best option for those teams for sustained long-term success.
No, he can't
It's
do
a great flash in the pan regular season. Oh yeah, I take it. Heartbeat. It hasn't translated well when the game slows down, and now I'm focusing on you. Yeah. 4 to 5 games in this series.
But nobody
because
has,
now those 4.8 turnovers that you average a game look really big when we're trying to play a half-court set.
I get that. That's absolutely. Playoffs, whole different ball game.
So, but why do we play the game?
If we gonna do that, start killing Dame Lillard.
I do.
If we gonna do that, start killing Donovan Mitchell. If we gonna do that, start killing all of these mugs that don't get past the second round.
I do.
Because
but you know what the difference is?
If we really talking about, like, Barkley got the 1 finals.
Hey, listen.
We don't not call Barkley one of the greatest power forwards in history, which is weird because of how small he was. But he was definitely the round mound to rebound. He got
Russ
the 1 finals.
Gets killed appropriately because out of all that, I can name you the stars that Dame's played with on his team. Russ has played with the best of the best in the last decade, except for one person.
That's fine.
Well, 2.
I got you. But let's also keep that same energy with dudes not making it to the NBA Finals. It's not about who you play with. It's about not making it to the NBA Finals, because that's all we play for.
That's moving the goalposts.
No.
Because this wasn't about just solely making the finals. It's about your effectiveness on the team. And does getting a triple-double mean you played well? And Russ averages a triple-double, but it doesn't mean that it was well played. And that's the argument. You're making the argument, making the finals and stuff like that.
No,
and guess what?
It's still you literally just said it doesn't lead to playoff wins. The regular season
lead to long-term success. It doesn't lead to. It just doesn't. He's not playing. It doesn't play well. And the reason we play is to make the playoffs, is to make the get to the finals. But all I'm saying, like, the whole goal is not making the final. No, that doesn't mean that. But no one's making. I'm not killing Russ because he doesn't make a finals. Just like I'm not killing CP3 because he only made 1. CP3 absolutely changes entire organizations.
Yeah.
When CP3 hits your town, you're winning. It's proven. Your players get better. They develop. Coaching happens.
Yeah, man.
It's happened.
Houston.
Hey,
Houston was a wild place.
Houston. James Harden is the problem there.
Hey,
We see the
listen,
narrative around James.
place, dog. I'll never get over that. It's like you brought Chris Paul to your team and you took the ball out of his hands.
Hey, you see that whole clip, James Harden slapping Chris Paul's hand away? That tells you the whole thing right there. That's Chris Paul.
Hey, I'll never get over that. I'll never get over the fact that they brought Chris Paul to Houston and did not use him. That is the most wild thing I've ever seen in my life.
Stupid. It was stupid. Charles Barkley got the 2.
Hey, listen, I ain't never seen Charles Barkley in another NBA Finals. You watching basketball? He got that. Shea got that revisionist history where they send the losing. You know, when you lose in the Western Conference Final, but they make the finals hat, so they send it somewhere else.
Was he a bench warmer?
Nah, he ain't.
Was he on the roster? And
he's never been to another finals.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Hey, listen, and I ain't gonna lie to you. Kenny hit Chuck with a bar that Chuck low-key got a hold. Now, Chuck do got the argument that they old. But he said, Chuck, you know you always talk about Shaq riding coattails. You play with Moses Malone, Dr. J, and y'all didn't get to one NBA Finals? He said, man, they was 100 back there. He said, and then you played with Scottie Pippen and Hakeem Olajuwon. Y'all couldn't get the one NBA Finals. Hey,
you gotta hold
he said that. I was like, you might have to hold that one, but they
gotta hold that.
But that was one of the first times I was like, that's a good point. I forgot about it. He did with Dr. J and Moses Malone. Hold up, now I want to see. Now I'm being a nerd because we just.
Hey, but you know what? No, hold on, wait. You can't say that because Michael Jordan played with George Gervin. Don't nobody even remember that.
Hey, that's a different George Gervin. George Gervin. But literally, they brought George Gervin back. He might have legit been 50.
Wait, if we just gonna throw the name out there, Iceman and Michael Jordan played on the same team. I bet you a bunch of people didn't know that. I bet you didn't.
Yeah, I knew that. That's funny though. I gotta see this though.
Julius Erving. Like, was Dr. J even still the doctor then? Or was he just
That's what I want to see. That's the stats I want to see. Because I want to see where was he at. So 1984. What Chuck average? Let's see. Let me get a season. So 1987. Dr. J. I want to see what them 1987 stats was like. Because if he played in 1987.
Hold on, wait. Julius Erving played in 1987?
No, he stopped he stopped in 86. And Barkley averaged 26 in 86. Julius Erving had 16 and 4.
They wasn't making it out there because the Milwaukee and Cleveland at the time was steamrolling people in 1984 to 86. I forgot who was on the team, but they was absolutely good.
Hey, hold up though.
He was an all-star, though.
Hold up though.
Who's on this team?
Hey, dog. Hey, Barkley ain't got a leg to stand on this one, bro. Dr. J was averaging 16 and 6. I said, what year we said? 86?
Yeah, 86.
Oh no, they wasn't on the same team. But when Dr. J was still cooking, you had Barkley averaging 20, so I give him 85. He was the second year in the league. 23 and 8 and 11 rebounds for Moses Malone. But Barkley wasn't his full self yet. The Hennessy and Square Gervin.
Hey, all I gotta say is this. Maurice, it was Barkley.
He had Mo Cheeks too.
Tim McCormick, Roy Henson, Julius Erving, and Clifford Robinson, and Andrew Toney. They all averaged double digits.
Hey, Barkley might have a leg to stand on, my boy.
I don't know. Hey, listen.
Now, Barkley wasn't 28-point a game, Barkley yet.
He was 23-point a game, Barkley.
That's a good. Hey, listen, you got to take a. He was
23 and 14.
J and Moses Malone on your team.
So this is 86, 23 and 14. Yeah, nah.
Hey, Barkley might have to take an L on that one, dog.
I think the only thing who do he have to play? He had to play against Bird.
He had to play against Bird. Had to play against what would it have been? It would have been Boston. No, they was in there, dog. That's the 80. Boston and Philly was the team in Milwaukee
No, Detroit.
and Detroit. Boston, Philly.
Because Detroit got two, and Bird got 3, Detroit got 2.
Hey,
Then
listen.
the rest was
Barkley
Magic.
and Dr. J jump. What's his name? So y'all supposed to be winning on the court. You can't just be winning the fights. Hey, that is one of the funniest clips ever. Barkley just holding Buddy back while Dr. J landing haymakers on his face. Like, dog, the NBA was a wild place back then.
I gotta see what this division, because they hey dog, they had 58. They were 58-24, but they were second in their division.
To who? To
That's
Boston,
the
right?
crazy part.
To Boston. They on the East Coast. It had to be Boston.
It was Boston.
Yeah.
See, this is the part of history people don't look at. Boston was 63-19. Philly was 58-24. Milwaukee was 59-23.
Yeah.
Who the heck was on Milwaukee in 84? Now, I know this because I've looked it up before, but I bet you nobody can sit there and tell me.
I know Buddy's name, but I can't think of his name.
When I say it, I'm
gonna be mad. I know his name. It's freaking
getting busy too.
Dog. Because I think J-Mark got his jersey.
That's very possible.
I think J-Mark got his jersey. Just tell me. I can't think of it.
Sidney Moncrief.
God dang it.
Sidney Moncrief was getting busy with Terry Cummings.
With Terry Cummings. One of the worst names of basketball. Yep. Primetime Podcast had it right there. He probably Googled that. You Google that Primetime. Don't cap with me, dog. Now, you know what? I like going back and looking at stuff like that. When I saw that the other day, I was like, hey, yo, like, he got a case. The funny thing was Shaq was there, and Shaq just never thought about it. Shaq never thought about, like, yeah, this dude did play with, like, Mo Cheeks, Dr. J, and Moses Malone, all when they was still getting busy. And Chuck was like, man, they was old as dirt by then, man. They were old as dirt.
Now, I give him the Julius Irving one. Dr. J wasn't
Julius
the doctor.
Was old, dog. Dr. J was old.
Hey, Dr. J had a whole ABA career and then an NBA career. Like,
hey,
nah.
I want to see them clips. Was Dr. J playing any defense at that point?
Hey, let's get the advanced analytics on that one to see how bad it was. Because right now, I don't care what nobody say. My favorite stat to pull out is still Michael Jordan played with Iceman.
Michael Jordan played with Iceman.
They're like, no, he didn't.
First year there, didn't
he?
His first year there, didn't he? Or his second year there.
And guess what? He averaged just as many points as Julius Irving did with Chuck. And he was an all-star the year before, averaging 21 points. So it's like,
Hey, but yeah, you're right. But it was just him and Iceman.
Just him and Iceman.
Steve Johnson, Rod Higgins, Dave Greenwood, Sidney Green.
And he was
Dave
old.
Corzine. Don't bust out a Dave Corzine out of nowhere, man.
Hey. And he was old.
Hey, Orlando Woodridge was getting buckets, though. 22-9.
I like this part of the show because we get to go down these rabbit holes.
Yeah, I almost do this every day. It's kind of weird, dog.
And the funny thing is, people stick around for it because they be like, "Oh, we never thought about that either."
Yeah,
I can't tell you how many DMs I got. Was like, "Oh, I never looked at that part." It's like, "Hey, ADHD. I have to look at the word."
I got so many DMs after I brought up Bernard King. Muggs was just like, "Man, I never even looked at this dude. I ain't even know this dude. This dude a bucket." I'm like, "Dog, I told y'all."
You know how many buckets existed in NBA history, dog?
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Iceman we know Iceman because of the layup. Did you know he had several seasons averaging 30 points a game?
We know Iceman because of the triple-double. Nobody thought he was going to be able to. Nobody thought anybody was ever going to be able to do that.
He averaged triple-double?
He was the first person to average a triple-double.
No, he wasn't. Couldn't have been. He couldn't have been because the Big O played in the 60s.
You're right.
got me questioning my acumen.
You
Right? I
right,
know
you
good
right,
and
you
well.
right.
George Gervin ain't even got close to averaging the triple double.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else on that one.
Hey, George Gervin ain't even sniffed close. Like the most assists he's ever averaged is 3.4. He
Hey,
ain't getting nowhere
kill him,
near.
kill him. I said it with confidence.
He's like he was the first person to do it.
Hey, listen, this is the thing, right? This is the thing, right? I'll tell you 100%. We're gonna get some stats wrong on this show. Don't even cap with it. Me and Kid are both two people that will say something with confidence.
And
And if
then
we go to
fact
fact
check
check
it
it, it'd be
later.
like, ooh, I didn't know that one. I didn't know that one for real.
That's crazy. You almost had me for a second. If it wasn't for the fact that I just looked at it and because I know the year that he started playing, I'd have actually rolled with that one. I'm like, oh, okay. Wow. So you almost got me on that one. Almost
Oh
had me.
man, that's funny, dog. That's funny. I love it. I love it. We got about 10 minutes left in the show, man. We appreciate y'all for pulling up. Any weird stories, headlines, any more menacing squirrels? You know what? I want that to be a little once a week segment, man. We'll do that every Wednesday. When we pull up, we're gonna have some more segments that we add to the show as well. Because as y'all can see, it was a slower sports day today, so we just came on here to talk with y'all and enjoy ourselves, man. We appreciate y'all for sticking around and rocking with us. But we're gonna start adding some stuff to the show, different things that we can do to make the show more entertaining, man. Look, we 2 weeks in, man. We trying to make it happen.
Hey, dog.
We had a 1 hour argument about AD and Russ.
AD and Russ was a good argument though, because it's just narrative.
It's
It's
all narrative.
narrative.
It's all narrative.
It's
Man, the
narrative.
Big O was crazy.
I'm just glad we didn't go back into the argument from last night because I'm so tired of that.
Bro, don't even start
At
that.
this point, I just be messing with people.
You know what it is?
Unfortunately, I mess with people with facts though, that I could just tweak a small bit to make you question your life. That's all it
Because this
is.
the thing. I know,
Bing bong.
doggone. I know that you can get numbers that tell you anything you want them to tell you.
Yeah.
You can get numbers to tell you any story you want them to tell you. I told Kid last night. I said the show works well because we look at things the same way, bro, from different sides of the world. We look at ways that the Bulls can win a championship, but from different sides of the world. Candace Parker won AP Woman Athlete of the Year. Anyone else y'all would have thrown in?
Nah, I like CP.
Naomi didn't play enough this year.
What?
Because of mental health.
Came back to the hometown, won the championship.
Yeah.
Hey, give it to her. She earned that one.
I'm with that. I'm trying to think of it.
Plus, she's from the town, so at this point, why would I change it?
Yeah.
like she won a championship in Chicago.
Yeah. That's big. That's
real big.
Nobody talks about that enough. That's huge. Let me ask you this. We got 5 minutes left, so let's get into a deep debate. Is the WNBA going to hit a growth spurt with the women hoopers we're seeing in high school and college now come up?
I don't know. Yeah, because Shorty who just caught a oop. That clip was that caught me. I was like, did she throw a oop? Like that was playing. Like you've been doing this in practice.
It wasn't your average oop either. She was
she had some. Now, was it league? Was it a regulation rim? Or did they lower it? Because in some of those games
it was
in high
game.
school,
It looked like it was in game, so I'm assuming it's got to be 10.
Hey, so if she caught that off 10 like that, got bounced.
But we seeing more women like that. We seeing more women that's got a little more, which is not surprising. Like Muggs are like it cracks me up that it's like the WNBA is born because like women can't dunk, and it's like, why do you think women can't dunk? We watch women do the high jump.
You know what's crazy?
Like if we being honest, women's legs are probably the strongest part of their body.
Yeah.
I
The
think
interesting thing about it is
haven't tried to dunk for very long. Like now
you see something can be positive, can be done. There's a mad delay on it, dog.
You said what?
No, say it again.
I said once females work at it for a long time, or women work at it long enough, like before they was just like, let's shoot. The WNBA was all shooting. The WNBA was what the NBA was a year ago, 2 years ago. There's a bunch of people just.
I appreciate you correcting, but can we not say females anymore? Is that not no longer PC?
I don't think we can say females anymore. Somebody told me that. I don't know if that's facts or not. It was a chick that told me that, so I don't know.
I was about to make a real statement. It's gonna be we too early. We too early. It's too. I guess I should say it now because I probably won't be able to say it later. Anyway, I tell you what. Okay, cool. Women, just women. Like, so you're not a male.
I'm a male. Definitely a male. You could definitely call me a male.
But I can't call my wife a female.
I guess it's personal preference. I don't know, dog.
Make it make sense for me, dog. I'm lost. All right, listen, because I definitely got 3 females upstairs at this point. They're eating breakfast. I don't care what you say. At this particular point, hey, I gotta do that. Can't tell me how to do my house. Anyway, interesting little thing. So before the world record was broken for, fastest mile, it's like 4 minutes at the time. They thought it was an impossible thing to do. But the moment that someone broke it, immediately afterwards, you had like 23 odd people do it the next year. And then it just kept going.
Yeah.
I think the same thing is happening in the WNBA where it's like they're getting more exposure. They're playing with more of the professional male athletes. They're getting the same access to the same trainers. And once you see what's possible, then the game just evolves and keeps going. Do I think they're going to be a major draw in the next couple years? No, but I think as they still continue the exposure, the younger ladies playing now get to see what's possible, what you can do. You start to expand your mind. You strive for more. Like, why can't I dunk? Like, why can't we do this? Why can't we do it? And so that I can see that absolutely having a positive effect on the game. I don't know about no dunk contest, but like, like you said, there's women that do the high jump. They absolutely got springs. Who says they can't?
Women with springs.
Who says they can't? It's being able to jump high has nothing to do with how much you can carry and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of different factors to it. So I think the game is going to be a lot better. And the one thing I will say, the women's basketball game is more fundamentally sound.
Fundamentally sound. Now I will say this: it's to me. I don't know if you agree with it. To me, it's like the 80s in the NBA. That's what the WNBA is now. Which the WNBA only been around what?
20 years,
15 years, 20 years,
mid 90s.
So, you know what I'm saying? So not surprising. But to me, it's like the WNBA because, or it's like the NBA in the 80s because, you see the players that not on the same level, but you see the major players that are great. But then you also see a bunch of dudes that were just running around there and they also were on the team. You know what I'm saying? Like you see you see the dudes that's like, man, what he do on the team? Oh, he averaged 5 points a game. Was he a good defender? No. Why was he on the team? The owner knew him. What? Like him and the owner dad went to high school together, so like he made the NBA. Like that's kind of how like a lot of the stuff going through the I guess more 70s than 80s. More 70s than 80s.
This is gonna be a hard statement to make with 2 minutes left, but I don't need to see an NBA versus WNBA.
Nah, that's gonna be.
I'm gonna tell you this.
What Dave Chappelle said is true.
There's not. We go back to Serena Williams being one of the best athletes in the world. And she herself says, if I played men's tennis, I would get killed.
Yeah.
Let's keep it a buck. You take your best woman player and you put them in the NBA, they don't even make the squad.
No.
It's okay for it to be separate.
It's okay.
It's okay for us to totally acknowledge the fact that there's a clear difference in physicality in the game and stuff like that. That, hey, if you want to do a 3-point contest, sure, we do a 3-point contest.
They in that.
We do that. But you want to do everything else?
That's still torching them.
Dog, no, come on, stop it. That's unfair to them. It's not even about us. It's unfair to them and what that would do for that. So
I
like, no, I
forget.
wouldn't even do that.
I forget. I think it was on Letterkenny or one of them shows, and they said, "Are you saying that women can't play hockey with the men?" He was like, "Yeah, that's what I'm saying." He was like, "All right, set up the match," and they played the match, and I think, buddy, they beat them like 87 to like 3. Like,
It's
what
like it's okay.
Brian
It's
say?
okay.
Or what Dave Chappelle say? He said, if Brian decides to become transgender, and does he have to go to the WNBA where he will score 187 points a night on these ladies? It's different. It's okay. It's different. And on that note, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, man. As always, y'all know y'all gonna get whatever out of here, man. We having regular conversation. We appreciate the love, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, staying with us this early morning, man. Hey, we'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. As always,
Doing
man.
a Christmas Eve show? I thought we was done for the year.
What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow is New Year's Eve.
Oh, never mind. We won't be back bright and early tomorrow. I forgot about that. Hey, listen, every day is a work day for me.
I'm sleeping in. How about you? I'm sleeping in.
Here for the New Year's Eve show, but we'll probably post some content or something like that. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us as always, man. Y'all stay safe out there. If any news break, you'll see me again. It's your boy Pat the Designer, joined by the pettiest man alive, Mr. P.kidd. Peace.